can I? We don't want to record those spaces. Mm-hmm. Jesus. Ticker AMPX. AMPX. Gotta keep an eye on these goddamn tickers. What is happening with the world? Silver is going crazy. I have no idea why, but everybody's talking about silver 79.3. It's just an endless rise to the top. And people are saying they should sell here. That is wild. That is wild. Silver is absolutely ripping. No idea why. And if I was holding this, I mean, there's just one big fucking Marabuza candle right at that tippity top. I mean, yeah, I'll even post it. This thing is just ridiculous. A Marabuza at the tippity top. That just screams continuation. Silver is screaming more continuation to the upside. Never have I seen some shit like this. I wonder who's prompting. But anyway, it's Sunday. I need coffee. I gotta post this chart. Let me see. Can I post it in the purple pill? I wonder if I can do it from my. Let me see if I can do it. Oh shit, I can. Oh, that's easy. Wow, look at that. So I'm just gonna post this chart in the purple pill. Look at that. Not even on the nest. Nice. I could do that. That's what's up. That's a good way to actually utilize spaces. Like cohesively too. Wow. Very interesting. If anybody wants to get on stage and got some ticks, let me know what tickers you guys got. I'm always looking for the next best thing. I'm just charting, prepping up for the week, what place to get in, what not to get in, what to get out of, what to get in. Domo is on my radar, DOMO. No idea what the company does, nor I give a shit, but the chart looks really good to look at. It's got a rounding bottom formation. Problem struggling to break above 897. You break above 897, it could do something magical. But it's interesting to see something like this. Apparently there was no guidance. That's as far as I know. A very interesting chart. DOMO. Dolly, Ozempic, Maniac, Ozempic. Is that even... Can I even say... I should have used Manjaro. Manfucking-jaro. Yeah, but straight up charts. QSI's just absolutely dog shit, but it's great for swings. If you look at that chart, just sideways for days and days and days, but really, really great. I mean, the bottom on this thing is roughly around $1. You catch $1 on this thing, it just goes up and down, up and down. Literally. It's been doing that twice. Nice consolidation around $1.10. And then rejects to 11. So that's a great swing trade. QSI is a really nice one. If you guys like to get in and out. It's $1 ticker on top of that. Moat is shit. Nvidia play. But it's interesting to look at. AMPX, shout out to Crispy. Man, don't miss. Crispy play is always the right play. I'm watching this level here around 680 actually. I'm watching 680 if it gets there. 680. We got a long way to go, but you know, in terms of what I think the market's going to do in the next couple of weeks, this can actually send some tickers to the downside. A lot of volatility, especially small caps, going to get clapped. Small caps are going to get clapped. Companies with no strong moats are going to get fucking disaster. Crashing. But what do I know? I'm just watching the markets, man. Nike's a great one. I mean, that play was sick. Sick. This play was sick. This was like even Steve Jobs saw this coming. Steve Jobs saw this fucking coming. He put 3 million, what is it, 5 million? 5 million. And look at Nike go. And I said, hey, these are oversold territory. So, great play over here. I even posted Nike on the tippity bottom. I posted Nike at the tippity fucking bottom. And look at where it's at now. It's disgusting. It's already up 6% at that bottom. 7% now. Wow, that was a really, really good one. I mean, it's a fucking $90 billion company. $90 billion company. Oh, speaking of bottoms, this chart looks like PayPal's. I reminded myself. See, this is a chart. PayPal's is interesting. I thought I could get to like SoFi levels, but no. So if you grab the candles from April 7th to 2025, you just put a nice little curvature tool. That is literally a rounding top. And rounding tops are really great reversal patterns, but certain things have to, how do you say, break out of in order for this to be confirmed. But unfortunately, PayPal is just getting slammed. You can argue it's inside in this descending wedge, right? Grab that candle from December 3rd. Put a nice little bearish trend line right there. And it looks to flatten out around 58.79. It's a very broad descending wedge. But regardless, I mean, PayPal is a $56 billion company. $56 billion. And the chart doesn't move. The chart does not move. Big boys don't want this up for whatever reason. What makes sense. It is what it is. RZLV. Now that's a chart. Somebody on YouTube is pumping their bags here. I've been keeping an eye on this thing. RZLV is very interesting. Very interesting. It looks like it wants to catch a little bit of life here, but struggling to break above 295. Struggling. Disaster. Somebody brought up CTM the other day. It's a dollar ticker, cybersecurity play. But if you look at the chart, again, another one, sideways action. Catch the bottom, sell at the top. CTM, I guess strong mode or shitty. Don't give a fuck. As long as the chart looks decent, that's what matters. But this one's another one of those choppy sideways action plays. CTM, a dollar play at that. Very interesting. I like tickers where nobody's looking at. Where no one looks, I like that. So CTM is a cybersecurity play. I have no idea, again, how big of a moat that is, but you're always going to need cybersecurity. Always. You're always going to need defense. Always. Where is the next PLTR? That is the question. Where is the next TL? God damn, DBI. What the fuck? There's a fat W here, I'll tell you that much. Hold on. There is a fat W right here. It looks like a, is that a bat? Okay, 1618. Yeah, we already passed the 1618. Yeah, 1618.35. We're gonna get a 3.6 here on that ratio D leg. We're gonna go, yeah. All right, so you can get a 5% tolerance level, 3.6, 5.6, and 7.78 on the AC. 1 sec, let me just confirm. I like that 7. Yeah, crabs can have 3% tolerance. In most cases, 5. Deep crabs get 10, 8 sometimes. Excuse me. Crabs get nice ones. They got a nice little range. That's why I like using crabs. Harmonics, and we are hitting levels up here, so it's in a bull flag. DBI, no idea what this company does. I just looked at my watch list and I just saw this thing up 2%. So DBI, interesting. Oh wow, look at that. Whew. Jesus, look at the 3-day chart on this thing. Above the 50, above the 100, above the 2 SMAs. On the 3-day, smack the 5 daily EMA, 3-day EMA. Barely touch, candles even barely touch it. Should come and test it very soon, actually this week. You know, overbought territory, you're scalding on the positive on the DMI oscillator, so this thing is prone to pull back. This thing has to pull back, and it will pull back. So I guess I'm gonna put this one on my watch list. DBI, no idea what the hell, what do they do? And why is this thing ripping? Designer brands. Oh no, is this retail? Fuck no. No. It's retail. I'll monitor this. Actually, let me put an alert right now, actually. 643. If it gets back there. Typically, off of these harmonics, you want to watch at the 3-to-2 ratio retracement levels on the Fibonacci. Is it going to get there? I don't know. I'm not a goddamn Houdini. But I do like retracements. And I do like that 3-to-2, and I do like that ratio, 3-6 on that D leg. We'll monitor it. I like how it aligns, too. EMPH, $33 a share. Cypher, 15.19 inside a symmetrical triangle. Right below the 5, 10, and 20 daily EMA. So that support line is exactly at 1447 roughly here. If you look at the price action previously, look at that. Boom. Support. Boom. Support. Is it going to touch it again? Another support there. Boom, boom, boom. No idea. I liked how it is actually it's following a trend though. Top trend line, bottom trend line. Curvature, angle, everything looks good. Is it going to come back around 15 bucks? 14.78? RSI is below the center line, and negative DI is coiling up. Once you hit 20, that's the start of a trend. Once you get 25 on the DMI, that's a confirmation on the trend. So we'll see. The ADX is pointing down on this thing, but Cypher is still strong. You still need data centers. Still need data centers. We're not going away with that. We're not going away. Let me see who is in the chat. God, I gotta use the bathroom. Why do I always have to end up using the bathroom? I didn't even drink coffee today. Lucid, Ondas. Oh, Ondas is, I don't know if anybody caught this on Ondas, but you know what? Let me go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. 1 second. Back. Nice little quick piss. Where was I? Shit. I can't even see the chart. I mean, I can't see the chat. Oh, and why is this not Bitcoin? Bitcoin should be priority right now. Bitcoin at 87.9. All right, so Ondas, guys. Pull up on the 1 hour time frame. Look at that. Look at baby Ondas. Another crispy play. Look at that. Support likes to bounce off that 382, 753. Look at all these. Look at this consolidation on the 1 hour. Excuse me. Again, 382, 753. Look at that consolidation. I'm posting all this stuff on the YouTube channel, guys. And look at that. Again, another consolidation, 753. So 753 is a sweet spot on Ondas. Very interesting. We are rejecting exactly 965. Loves rejecting 965. Absolutely loves it. Multiple rejection levels up here, turning it onto the 1 hour, but loves finding base at the 753. So keep an eye on Ondas. This is actually one beautiful chart to play with. I'm gonna definitely consider the 382 levels Ondas. The 382 levels Ondas loves the 382 and loves rejecting exactly around the 960, 980. But Ondas has a bright future. This reminds me of APLD days. I mentioned this in the past, especially when you have consecutive good news back to back. APLD was having massive news back to back. And now APLD is trading at fucking 20 bucks. 20 fucking dollars. 20. And now looking at Ondas again, if you guys are watching the YouTube, it's inside an ascending wedge. An ascending wedge. Beautiful. Now it obviously breaks 0.5, 832. The next support bounce I see here is obviously what I've been talking about. 382. I mean 753 at the 382. Interesting. So this one's on my radar. Actually, let me put an alert because I'm going to forget. And if I think SPY is going to do what I think it's going to do in the next couple of weeks, we can definitely catch on to us at a nice discount. Definitely at a nice discount. Did I just delete the ratio? I think I really did. Yeah, I did. So, oh wow, so I must have done a retracement from the down up. I still ended up with the same ratio with the 0.5. Yep, it was still, okay, so the 0.5 and this 382. Okay, I got you. Same shit. Yep, 761 here. So the 0.5 ratio on the retracement. Ooh. All right, so that one's already put my alert on. Bitcoin's rocketing right now. I'm looking at my screen to the right. 8797, 88,000. Looks like it wants to keep going. Let me actually pull up the Bitcoin chart real quick. What do we got? It's fucking dog shit. Really nothing going on here. Nothing. It's like struggling. It really is struggling. It's just nothing. Anyway. Let me pull up that. There you go. Boom. All right. So RZLV, LPTH. Oh, Lightpath. That's another one of those tickers I am interested in. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. LPTH. LPTH. If it actually loads, LPTH, hello. Hello, there you go. Yes, LPTH, man. Man, oh man. So this one we already spoke about. Actually, I don't even need to touch on this because that's a reversal candle right there. Straight up reversal. Not an advanced block formation. Just straight up reversal. I mean, it actually does look like an evening doji start. Evening doji start. Even though I would prefer the body to be a little bit more flatter, get a nice little doji. So that doji, or aka long-legged dojis at the impulse, that just screams reversal. And rightfully so. If you look left, obviously it keeps rejecting that 236 on my charts at the 926 range. Very, very clean rejection at the 236, $9.26. So if we're going to see price action repeat itself from the history, this looks like a reversal or retracement happening. Now, obviously, this harmonic adds confluence because we play harmonics. And all you're going to do is you're just going to grab that C leg, put your Fibonacci's down there, put it at the impulse, and that is your retracement, 236, 382. I'm looking at the $8.36, $8.48. And if it bounces there, great. Those are great ratios. If it doesn't, well, break the 0.5 down at the $8 and then watch the golden pocket. Markets do love golden pocket, 618.65. The golden pocket is it's always one of those good ratios you want to see price action come back to, especially after an uptrend, especially after a massive move. You want to see the golden pocket be that support line. You always want to see the golden pocket. 382s are a strong reversal bounce if the stock has, it's a great company, good moat. But if a stock ran up for whatever reason, you always want to see the golden pocket be that support line, at least a ratio where price action can consolidate and then eventually find a move up. That's what I've learned in many years doing TA. The golden pocket is such a sweet spot. Playboy. Somebody mentioned Playboy. I don't know what the fuck. I think this has a Reddit thing behind it. Ooh, that's a fat W. Okay, hold up. We got a W, and I like that. That's a butterfly, but I don't like the ratio. And that D leg, it's a 1-3. You need a 127 on the butterflies. 127 the butterfly. Yep. Regular butterflies are 127. Deep butterflies are 1618. Everything. Shout out to Shah. Everything is a 1618 in theory. Everything is a 1618. It's fucking facts. It is fucking facts. So this is definitely a butterfly. Let me see if I can get the right leg on that D. Actually, whoa, that is a butterfly. Oh, that's a good one. Confirmed too. Let me just, yep. Yeah, I don't like the A leg with the C, but if all ratios 3 out of 4 pan out, then it's clean. Let me see if I actually bounce off that 382. Hold on, let me double check. All right, so it broke the 382, bounce on that 0.5. Let's see if it holds. You are getting some sort of inverted on that 382 touch. So that's interesting. Bullish bell toe candle at that. Oh yeah, this looks good. Bullish bell toe candle. Broke above that. Let me turn on the daily real quick. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, bullish bell toe. Very clean one too. Has some sort of reaction. Common bottom at the 171. Playboy. Rejecting or at least trying to break above the 382. $1.94. So it looks like it's more going to be a consolidation range here, here. And then your flat line is 172. Very nice. Positive DI above on the daily. Above 25. Also great. ADX strolling along. RSI also above center line. So this looks like a continuation or consolidation. But either way, you're flat. Your base is 172 here. Look at that. Look at that structure. Very interesting. Playboy. Who would have thought? Playboy. Of all fucking tickers. Of all companies. It's going to come back to life. Or coming back to life. SPWH, got a nice little bat harmonic here. Waiting for this thing to actually pan out nicely. Catching this knife is going to be very interesting. Multiple bullish divergences on the 4. Let me double check here. Multiple bullish divergences on the 4-hour. Watching this thing very closely, monitoring it. It's a catching knife play. I don't advise people to get into these plays because they're very risky. Catching knives is very risky. Don't ever don't get involved if you don't know what you're doing. But I like my catching knives play. It's essentially my style, actually. Very few people catch knives the way. Actually, people don't catch knives. They prefer that shit dying. Like, they don't really want to get involved. So, I just heard some noise. I don't know what that means. Let me check the space. Is that because of the pill or something? Let me see. Well, I don't know. Very interesting. Is it someone trying to request? I just heard a noise on the space. I don't know what that means. All right, whatever. Back to charts. Sound, S-O-U-N. S-O-U-N. This is more of an AI voice play. And I remember writing this thing at around $10. And it's on the Discord. We were like, oh, it's got 3 rising valleys. Yada, yada, yada. Look at all these 3 rising valleys. Look at that. And then obviously it peaked at 22, right? Because those are the measurement rules off of 3 rising valleys. And then it just tanked, right? Is their moat strong? Not sure. Their last earnings didn't do too well, from my understanding. Nor I give a shit, because we don't trade off finance, or at least I don't. I look at the charts. But this thing is trying to find a bottom around 1064. Touch it 3 times. Looks like it wants to fail and let it fail. Sound is a very interesting chart. It's a very, very interesting chart. I mean, had massive upside. But I think they have some connections with BMW. Yeah, I think they work with BMW, if I'm not mistaken. And then somebody said if you have your own AI assistant on Sound, for example, people grow attaching themselves to their vehicle, like the Tesla theory, whatever. People love their Teslas. They have AI now. It talks back to you, blah, blah, blah. So Sound is essentially what that is to market or to car legacy manufacturers that don't have AI implemented already, right? So Sound being a third-party advocate in this industry would be a potential nice setup for more, I don't know, contracts. Maybe they can do Volkswagen. Maybe they can do Mercedes. I think they do have BMW. I might be mistaken, but I don't know. I don't know. The chart is just very interesting. It absolutely got fucked up on the last rally and completely plummeted at 22.16. But we were trading this thing at 10. Oof, that was really good. That was really good. And I remember, actually, I posted videos on this on my YouTube. 3 rising valleys. Measurement rule. I think it was exactly around 19 or 20. And the fucking thing peaked at 22. Probably have some history posted on my thread as well. DLO. I'm just going through a bunch of watch lists, guys. I'm just market prepping for the week. What I expect SPY to do this week. I expect a pullback on SPY, right? I mean, let's fucking talk about SPY. If anybody wants to come up on stage, please feel free. I'm just essentially monologuing. Just go ahead and request. If you guys got some tickers, I'll take a look at. But back on SPY, I guess I'll reiterate. I mean, we have bearish divergence, Class A, confluence number 1. RSI making lower highs, but the price action making higher highs. That's a Class A bearish divs. Look at that nice rejection, or at least on the RSI, if you notice, it's not pointing north, it went flat. But look what printed on the candle impulse, right? Bearish deliberation. Nice, beautiful long candles on an uptrend. And then on the third candle, off of the 2 long bullish candles, you're getting a reaction. That's called bearish deliberation. Very different than the advanced block formations. Advanced block formations, you can have long body candles engulfing bullish on an uptrend, but essentially they start getting shorter and shorter and shorter. In an advanced block formation, you can have multiple short candles at an impulse. Right? And then eventually, once price action stops, touches a key resistance area, it comes crashing down. Reversal. And if you're a bear, like I am, I tend to be more bearish in the market where we are now. You need to start observing. Just as much as you like playing calls and shares, you need to understand how to play shorts and puts. But just as you need to understand price action, when it's rejecting a certain resistance line multiple times, eventually it's going to give up. And that's a psychology shift. And watch volume. Is it green? Is it red? Is it dissipating? Is it accumulating? Are you seeing the signs before it happens? What kind of wicks are they going? What kind of candle opening is it? Is it a Marabuza? Marabuzas are great continuation pattern candles. If you ever see a Marabuza on an uptrend, congratulations, you might catch a second day in another uptrend. Marabuzas at an opening, oh boy, better be careful. You don't want that. Bearish bell-toe candles, another continuation to the downside. If you guys don't know what that is, I advise that you guys Google it. Bearish bell-toes are very, very fucking powerful. If you don't see them, you might get clapped. Or you might find an opportunity, depending on the trade. So be very, very, very mindful when you take trades, especially, in this case, I'm leaning bearish on SPY. Watch those candles. Look, spinning top. Go on the YouTube, guys. I'm charting as we speak. I'm not just dicking around. I got receipts. I love what I do. Go ahead, take a look at the YouTube channel, but look at the impulse here, folks. Open up that YouTube. What do you see? Spinning top. What does that mean? Indecision. Oh my God, crisis. Potential reversal. Everybody and their mother knows that an uptrend, especially the volatility that we had, what do you think is going to happen then? What goes up must come. Exactly. So if we know this, why are we super bullish? But you think market makers are going to allow this shit to be fucking easy? Do you think market makers are going to allow you to make it easy? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. They know this. They see this. They know what we think. They see exactly what we see. But they're going to make it hard on us. Going back to the technicals, bearish Class A divergence. Confluence number 1. Bearish deliberation, long body bullish candles in an uptrend. Boom, third candle. Off of the 2 consecutive long bullish candles, you have a spinning top. Typically, you want to see a gap up, which is much more of a bearish deliberation patterns. They're much stronger in that sense. But fine, there's no gap up. But look at the price action. Spinning top, price action, meeting literally at the closing high of the previous candle. What does that tell you? Uh-oh. There's something called a bearish meeting lines. This is not a bearish meeting line, but the theory of bearish meeting lines are essentially the same. You come back to the opening high of the previous candle. But very interesting, right? I can talk about candles all day. Most of you don't give a shit. You just got, some folks just want to know if it's up or down that day. Well, I'm telling you, I'm leaning bearish. Okay? And again, much more confluence. Turn on the 12-hour. Look at the DMI oscillators. Boom, boom, boom. This doesn't scream bullish to me, folks. Look at the chart. Pull up your oscillator. Pull up the DMI. I'm going to show you guys something. Look. What do you see on your DMI? 40, scalding, come back down. Actually, this was a very good clean uptrend. But 40, essentially coming down. 40 came down. 40 came down. 40 came down. Scalding, 55. Once you hit these levels, you're guaranteed a reversal. You're guaranteed. Obviously, after we hit 40 on this side, I think this was when we made that V-shaped recovery. Let me double check here. V-shaped recovery. So no, this is just consecutive uptrend. If we're going to get that, maybe. But what do we see in the past? 40. Let me actually make it more clear. 40, rejection. 40, come down. 40, come down. 50, like I said, is a clean. We definitely do need to fucking come back down. If you ever hit 50 on the DMI, it's like one of the best trades to take, up or down, because shit doesn't last forever on the upside. Never, ever. Up or down, never. So in this case, this sell-off here lasted very short. Then you had the sell-off. Again, another one, scalded up here. 48, close to 50 on the DMI, sell-off. So, actually reversal, excuse me. So in this case, 40, are we going to have another block? A blockage of continuation to the upside? We can have a whole scenario where you have a continuation. But is it rightfully so in terms of what we see here on the price action? On price action. We're struggling to break above 689. 689. Look at this. I mean, sure, we broke it. I mean, actually, that was a tippity top. We tried it, and now we barely tried it. Yeah, we made an all-time new high, 691.60. 691.66 exactly. But what do you notice on your charts? That was a weak-ass uptrend. That was weak. There's no follow-through. Did you guys watch IWM when SPY was moving? IWM making lower highs on the 12-hour. Everybody says bullish. Everybody says bullish. IWM went fucking sideways while SPY was moving up. There was no follow-through. There's no follow-through. So we're going to see what's going to happen next week. I'm leaning bearish. I'm not saying the fuck. You know what's funny? You know what's fucking funny? When people say bearish, people think, oh, the market's going to fucking... But the market only goes up. The market stays up. No one can ever be bearish in a market where it's always bullish, long term. If somebody says they're bearish, listen to them because they know shit goes up all the time. Bitcoin maxis are a great example. Oh, we don't care, market, it's going to go up eventually. Okay, cool. We know that. We all fucking know that. But when people are screaming a little bearish, okay, maybe he has something here. But long-term market only go up. The entire market only has been going up for the past fucking 50 years. So I hate when I don't know. It's just something to consider. Markets go up, sure. Short term, bearish. Cool. Live with it. But anyway, IWM went fucking sideways while SPY was up only for 4 days. That should be a warning sign. Silver, gold, up, 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 up only. What does that mean? I'm not a goddamn finance bro, but we haven't seen these movements in a very long time. In a very long time. Somebody brought it up. It was this movement was essentially back in December 19th of 2024. If you look at the chart, this thing was up only December 19th of 2024. Then it just made massive upswings of 2024. Let me double check here. Of 2024. And if you guys remember the year 2022, let's go back in time a little bit. All right, let's go turn on the 3-day just to get there in time. When we had one of the worst economies in the Biden administration. One of the worst economies in the Biden administration. Gold on October 2022 started making a rally. 2022. Up only. Up only. That ended in January 2023. What happened in 2022? Worst economy. I'm not a goddamn Houdini nor a finance bro, but I will tell you this. Look at the chart here in 2022. Look at SPY 2022. What do you see? Let's go back and SPY. Are we going to repeat the same fucking price action? I don't know. But if you remember SPY, we were just pointing down. South, south, south. Looks like a goddamn bull flag. After a massive rally. Right? Looks like a fucking a dick long hole bull flag. And then obviously we broke out from a macro perspective. But the point is, everything was pointing down, but gold was going up. 2022. Again, I'm not a Houdini, but I do look at data. So what do we see here on SPY? Well, a little bit of bearishness. I mean, just had, again, multiple days of going up. Guys, respect the fucking trend. Look at the 3-day time frame. What do you see here? Another evening star. Bullish candles, multiple of them, multiple at that. What do you know every time we had a massive rally to an upside? Well, you're definitely going to be met with resistance at some point. This might be the resistance. How long is it going to last? Who the fuck knows? Okay? 681.25, I can see something like that coming back down a little bit. Nothing crazy, 681.25. Come here at this key support area. We bounce off of this candle. That's a 3-day time frame. We bounce off of this candle. That's a 3-day time frame. We fell below it. We retested that 3-day time frame candle with a nice little dragonfly doji. We tried and test at 681. And look what happened. Nice little bullishness to the upside. So based on prior price action, maybe retest that 681 after the breakout. Come back down, 681. Maybe come back and then just rip it again. Boom. We always like to retest. When you take a trade, you always wait for confirmation. You always wait for confirmation. Just because it broke out does not confirm jack shit. There's something called a bust out. Bust outs. If you guys look at the charts that I'm in right now, let's say you have an asymmetrical triangle, right? And in this case, you have candles trying to break out on an uptrend, okay? It just did. Boom, boom, boom. And then what happens? Price action, volume intenses. Then you're hitting a nice little peak. Volume then de-weakens. And then, boom, you're going to back test that break. In most cases, people are just riding the volatility. And then they exit. But the true test of that breakout is confirming the breakout after that trend line, upswing or downswing. You don't want to get bust out. Bust out is essentially when price action gets back inside the trend. You don't want that headache. I'm telling you right now, you really don't want that fucking headache. Because that's going to hurt. You better have stop losses on top of that. You better have nice, clean stop losses. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. Risk management, you gotta learn that. You gotta learn it. You can have hours of conversation on risk management. Hours and hours and hours of risk management. But yeah, SPY, bearish. Long term, no, just short. Just short. I'm not I'm just seeing what I'm seeing. And we trade what we trade, that's it. So, nice little rant. Nice little tangent ran over there. What else do I? Am I missing anything on SPY on the 4 hour? Let me double check here while I'm looking at this thing. No, thesis still stays the same. Thesis still stays the same. So I'm watching 40. Maybe we might have a little bit more upside, but that 40, if we watch the past again, 40 has just been a clean rejection area, or at least essentially the end of a run. Okay. Going back to equities here. Archer, what's going on with Archer? Let's see. Jesus Christ, what is this? Archer. I see a fat M. That's a huge M. It looks like a Gartley. That does look like a Gartley, to say the least. But Gartleys are nice 786s. And A leg is definitely not lower than the C leg. So that is a shark. And that's an 886 ratio. And with the 1618. Let me double check the sharks real quick. I like sharks, but they're too common. Sharks are so fucking common, it's ridiculous. Very common. But, ooh, this actually is a clean. Minus the D. No, that's way out of the tolerance level. So this one is null and void, but in terms of price action. Archer touched at 382, 890 to the T. Very nice. Rejection. Lower highs. So now you have a nice little boogeyman on. Your boogeyman is a fucking trend line that you can't break out of, and you touched it twice already. You touch it twice already. And if somebody says this is asymmetrical triangle, well, sorry, the space is too open. Too open. I wouldn't trade that. But it's nice to see how it's trying to find life at the 236, 791. If it fails that, boy, oh boy, what does my EMA say? Hold on, let me turn on the... Oh yeah, point of control is at 846. Volume node at $8, practically at the 236. Next bottom would be exactly 745 here. Interesting. So you fail the 236, 745 on Archer is potentially your next bottom. Okay, it'd be great to catch it at 655. Your volume average low is 693. We'll see here, but very interesting. Negative DI is coiling right at that 25 basis points. And once that shit hits, that's the start of a trend. That's a confirmation. All right, your 20 on the DMI is the start. The 25 above on the DMI oscillator is the confirmation. You wait for confirmation. RSI is below the center line, rejecting on the central point of the RSI. So this means continuation what? To the downside. What kind of candles are we printing? Well, no wicks, bearish, bad. Screams more decline. More decline. 5, 10, and 20. Daily EMA sitting above overhead, meaning what? Resistance. Archer screams bearish. Continuation. Unless some sort of catalyst, which I cannot predict. But very interesting. Symbiotic Robotics. This one I was looking at $40. Never touched this thing out of my price league. But robotics is always going to be a thing. Don't disregard robotics. They're always going to be needed. They're in everywhere. Hardware houses, AWS, you know, all that good stuff. Amazon, Apple, right? Devices, cars. You're going to need robots, always. Mode is strong. Future, potential new tech into the robotics industry is also another thing. That's one thing I got to... Oh, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like, who's going to invent the next best thing for robotics, right? Like, what other parts of the... I don't know. Because one of the problems we're having with robotics is the physics aspect of it, right? When you move things around, and especially when things are nice and tight, they tend to break much faster. Because so many bits and little pieces, again, they touch each other, so friction. What happens when you have friction? Heat. What happens with heat? Exactly, it just breaks down metals, rusts it up. Heat is an issue. Physics is an issue. It's very hard. Energy versus, what was the one? Energy distribution. And I think Crispy said it best. Forgot the exact term, but again, it's just physics. Robots, it's just physics. So Symbiotic is a great SYM. SYM. Let me check the chat real quick. Serve. Let me see here. Serve. Everything's in the YouTube channels in the on the NES. In case you guys are trying to figure out what the hell I'm charting. Excuse me. Ooh, Serve has a nice W. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. Ooh, 5-7. Bat. 886. But 886. And then you have this nasty bearish candle here. So this is a null and void candle. Null and void. It looks like a bear flag too on top of that. Something like that along the lines, right? Jesus Christ, nasty. Drop down. Blah. Yeah, it looks like it's going to do a double bottom here at 955. Double bottom at that 955 would be kind of great. Shit, I'll even fucking get involved in here. Actually, let me put an alert. Let me put an alert on this. I like Serve. In terms of volatility play, it's got 3.5 million volume. I like my milli volumes. Anything above 5, I'll play. I like 5 million or more. And this is one I've been watching. For months, and it just ended up catching my eye right now. There is a fat W, and this might be a shark. Yep, look at that, a shark. Sharp, another one. So sharks, again, 1618 with a 224 leg completion point, 1618. 1618 with a 224. Whoa, okay. That's actually sweet. That is clean. 16 with a 213 tolerance. Wow, so 20 bucks and you? Okay, I respect. But we don't just trade off of that. We need confluence. Let me see some price action here. All right, so grab your Fibonacci extension levels. If you guys don't know what that is, it's to determine future price action. Downside or upside. If there's no price discovery, you use Fib to detect new price discovery. Okay, new price discovery. Hold up, let me see here. Fib retracement. Boom, boom, boom. Grab it from this leg if I can get it right there and then. Then you got the impulse and then you put it right there. So exactly the finishing is at the 0.5, 1968 off of the Fibonacci extension. Very, very interesting. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post this on my Twitter now. Because why not? Because why not? Look at the negative DI pointing south while the the positive DI continues to stay above the 25. Wow. Powerful. NU looks interesting. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and post it. I'm going to post it right now. I might actually have to... Let me see something. Whoops. I guess not. Hold up. Why is it not working? Why is it not working? 1 second, guys. Let me see. Okay. Whatever. I'll post it later. Or maybe I'll post it now. I'll post it in the Discord, then I'll just grab it back. So I'll put NU. And boom. All right. Post it in the Discord. Let me see. So very interesting NU. May or may not get there. Who knows? But interesting. NEGG. FNGR. Hims. What's going on with Hims? What's going on with motherfucking Hims? Because this is actually inside an Adam and Eve, potentially. Nice square shoulder on the right-hand side. Nice little A on the left-hand side. And if I were to draw this, well, Adam and Eve's, it's got to be 10% from the previous peak off of the broadening shoulders of the A angle high. So let me double check that. Let me see. We got a nice little A. You got a nice little shoulder. Square at that. Failing. Let me see the distance between the A and the broadening shoulders. It's got to be 10% of that peak. Bingo, negative 10.79%. That is the distance. That was essentially the distance of that A versus B. Adam and Eve. And look at that. So your break point exactly was at 41.74 off of the the Eve. Your ultimate pain zone is 23.73 off of these patterns. Look how price consolidated multiple times here. Here, come back and test it. Confirmation, break below 23, exactly 23.89 to be exact. Let me double check here. 23.97, there you go. 23.97. If you break below that, there's a measurement rule here. You take it from the measurement from the A head. Let me go ahead and delete all this noise. All right, you take it from the head, from Adam. If you guys don't know, take it from Adam. You take it from the valley. If it actually lets me take it from the valley. And then you extend it to the downside. So essentially, it's $7. But I doubt it's going to get there. Doubt it's going to get there. That'd be kind of interesting. You think we can get... What is HIMS? I mean, it just had a huge run-up. Huge. Fucking crazy. Isn't this the men's dick pills? Oh my God. I said that. I'm going to get fucking demonetized. I forgot I'm on YouTube. Fuck. Alright, whatever. I won't get paid on this video. It is what it is. I won't get paid. Ads are going to decline me today. Well, at least for this video. Straight decline on that video. Straight. I'm done. What else? KULR. Sad story for that company. LPSN, $4.11. Downward trend. Holy shit. Dilutive event. Wow. LPSN completely getting slaughtered here. Looks like they had to raise some capital. FFAI. Another one straight down. Where are the PLTRs in this world? Where are the PLTRs? Next, HIMS, FNGR, Fubo. What's Fubo doing? Oh yeah, this one I'm waiting for. This is another one. NUAI. NUAI is actually interesting. It's breaking out of a cup and handles. People call it bull flag. It's looking good. Handle part, actually. NUAI. Actually, NUAI has a lot of legs. Strong company. Don't know what the fuck they do, but really, really good company. Really good chart. Really nice chart, to say the least. I like the chart on NUAI. There's your cup. There's your handle. And it looks like it broke out. If you guys really want to know what the measurement rules off of these fucking things are, they get kind of crazy. Sometimes I don't like to draw them because, these are just too large, right? They're just fucking large. You can call this a rounding bottoms, but rounding bottoms are typically like you want to see bumps in them. We are seeing bumps in this sense. Midway half point, that is considered a rounding bottom. So yeah, rounding bottom off of on NUAI. All right, rounding bottom is really great. And if the measurement, oh my God, if I show you the measurement on the rounding bottoms on NUAI, we're looking past $50 on this thing, okay? Patterns are just there to give you an idea, a map, a guidance, an observation. That's what patterns do. They're not the end-all, be-all. They're not biblical. You don't put your right hand on the motherfucking Bible and say, hey, it broke out of this pattern, XYZ is going to happen. Not always. But they're a great way to observe the market trends and see, hey, is this a good place to put money in? Maybe. Why is it up only? Okay. Why is it in a cup and a handle? Oh, wow, that's interesting. Bull flag. Look at the company. Read the finance. Play the trend. Play the trend. Again, chart squigglers, line drawers, fucking crayon drawers. We can't predict the future, just like the big financial bros can't predict shit. It's all probability at the end of the day. Everyone's aiming for 51% accuracy. Some try to be 100%. Shame on you. Shame on you. You got to be humble in this game, I'll tell you that much. Financial world, you got to be very humble and be careful. But learning how to grow is key to stay long enough in the game. Otherwise, you're going to be fucking clapped. And watch out for bad actors out there, man. They exist. And not everybody's your goddamn friend. Everybody actually fucking hates you. Everybody hates you except your mom. Swear to God. Everybody in the world hates you except your mom. D-Nut. This had actually had a Reddit move. Nice little upward trend. Failing to break above 466. Interesting to say the least. D-Nut actually had good earnings. Allegedly good earnings. I see green, not going into the financials, but I think they're a little crispy donut play. I think they sell donuts. Not a fucking fan. I could give two shits about their moat, but in terms of the chart, very interesting. We're failing to break above 458. Rejection, double top, and then boom, get clapped to the downside. Trying to break above or at least stay a hold above 417. You got the 50 SMA rolling along. And if you look left, the 50 SMA acted as what? Support. So I wouldn't even look at this thing until it touches that 50 SMA, confirm a potential bounce. That's what I see in the chart. That's what I see in terms of what's in front of me. That's all I give a shit about. So D-Nut, interesting, very volatile. I remember this thing being on the Reddit run. But if you look at the uptrend on this chart, I mean, it's just straight up, right? Look at that. Sending wedge, you can argue. Flat line at the 428, but you peaked high. Double top exactly at 474. And then boom, again, rejection. So this bottom trend line / 50 support line on the SMA is another potential bounce. Strong support bounce, 397. Again, it's all 50 SMA with that supportive bounce on that bottom support line. Interesting, huh? What's your happy candle? I don't know. I can't push buttons for you. All I'm saying is look at the chart. What do you see? Price action loves that 50. Price action loves that support trend line. Boom, boom, boom. Very interesting. Actually, you know what? Let me put an alert on this one. This would be a nice little swing trade. Let me put an alert here. 407. I would love this thing to come back down to 407. Touch that 50. Bingo, bango. Bitfarm, 248. Let me double check here. Daily. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, Bitfarm looks like you got a death cross impending on top of that. That's not a happy setup. Death cross, 50, converging with the 200. That equals bad. Bad, bad, bad. And I remember Bitfarm. It was just up only. Somebody wanted to request. Go ahead. I see it now. I don't know who it was. Sorry. Monologuing, looking at charts in between YouTube chat / spaces. Let me know. Yes, I am. Oh, wow. Patal, I wish he was in here. I wish Patal was in here. That'd be great. He's a great guy. Patal, spitting that alpha, I tell you. Patal is a very intelligent man. Cash Patal. Intelligent man. Hopefully he gets on the spaces. Looks like we got GK up here. I don't know if she can hear me. So that's that. So Bitfarm impending death cross. This is not a play. This is absolutely horrid.
Good morning, Sammy. What's up?
What's going on, GK?
Good. Nice to hear you charting. I am. Let me invite you. Want Crank Patel?
He was on spaces earlier. He's always busy. I know that.
Yeah. I'll send him an invite.
Sure. I always like what he has to say. I know he said that he's going to stop using the platform. He did say that.
Let's see. Time to time he gets really fed up. People do. Understandable.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose him.
I'll keep him. I'll keep him in there. I'll talk to him.
Let's see what happens. It'd be such.
I mean, we do communicate on other platforms as well. We actively trade in similar groups, but so reaching out to him to me is not big deal. It's not an issue, but yeah, I just send him an invitation.
All right, you guys use Clubhouse. Essentially, that's what it's called.
I have never been to Clubhouse before.
Oh, I'd be hearing a lot about clubhouses, but
I think there was like a one app that people were there and then it shut down and people came to X after that, I think.
right, okay.
And that's like I just came to X. I've never been in the Clubhouse.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens, Pata. Be like I said, it'd be sad to see him go.
Have you been looking at? I mean, I think everyone has
What's that?
silver, and then copper and platinum and palladium, and they're still going. They've been doing very well. Gold has been a little bit now, easing up, but next week it's gonna be very hot. Take a look at Micron. Oh man. And let's see,
Silver, right now, the candle that I'm looking at, silver right now on the daily, I have, typically in an uptrend, you want to start seeing something called like advancing blocks, like candle structures getting shorter and shorter, showing signs of weakness. What surprises me here on silver is that you have a massive rally for multiple consecutive days. And I'm talking, if we just take the candle on November 21st, 2025, up until
Are you
now.
specifically looking at SLV right now?
SLV. Yeah, I'm actually
Okay. Are you on the daily?
On the daily, yeah. I'm live on stream in case you need to look at the screen. It's on the YouTube.
Well, I'm going to get to my computer.
No problem. Everything's in the nest just in case. But I try to get a harmonic here, and there was one, but it just completely kept going and going and going. And I even tried to get a crab. But once you're past the 1618, I mean, it's just going to be null and void from that point. You're at 3.7 with a 6.2. No, that's way far out of reach. 161, deep crabs with a 2. Sure, even with a 3.6, fine. But that's like your break. Like, that's literally it. And then all of a sudden, silver up only. Up only. And what's crazy is that there's a Marabuza opening and closing on silver, which indicates more continuation to the upside. That's what's fucking freaky about this. Crazy.
Public is just getting aware of silver and trying to get their hands on it.
And it has a good use case, right? Like what you're saying. So interesting to say the least. We are hitting 50 on the DMI oscillators. And if you guys know what 50 is, it's a clean sign of, hey, get the fuck out. The train is about to stop. So I'm looking at the Marabuza, but I'm also watching the DMI. And 50 is your break line. Like literally the line you don't cross, or essentially you do cross, but it's an easy confirmation that this train eventually has to stop on the DMI oscillator. So it's very interesting. It's going to stop. When? I don't know.
We're going up now at a 90 degree. Like, this is not a 45-degree angle. This is like we're going straight up.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
It's like a rocket ship,
It's vertical. It's crazy. I got the info bar as we speak. It's literally, like you said, 90 fucking degrees. It's disgusting. You never see that. Very rare. And it's just even crazier. You're in an uptrend to see a candle like a Marabuza plus 90 degree formation on this goddamn thing. It's crazy. Very rare. It's insane. Let me take a look at gold, actually. Let me see what's going on with gold. Gold is not even. Gold is not. Somebody's actually doing a wheel. Gold is not doing what silver is doing, which is.
Okay, check out. Okay, platinum shares and look at the rocket ship, PPLT. This rocket ship is bigger than silver. Okay.
Whoa.
That's something that no one was paying attention to. Look at that.
Wow. Platinum 2446, like you said, vertical fucking bar. And what's even crazier This is called a bearish belt hold candle. The previous trend was bearish, but then if you look, price action completely said fuck off, opening a Marabuza with a wick high. That's called a bullish belt hold candle.
What is this called? Abandoned bakers.
Well, in this case, because it's in an uptrend, typically you see bullish belt hold candles in a downtrend. But because of the opening plus the previous trend was bearish, this would be considered a bullish belt hold candle. Bullish belt.
Oh, that was a hammer. The previous day was literally a hammer.
On the daily, on the platinum?
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong chart, I see a spinning top. You said... You're on the 4 hour? Let me see.
I'm on the daily.
Oh, if it's on smaller time frames, I won't see. I'm on the 4 hour, even then. But still.
It's daily. Yeah. I mean, yeah, super bullish.
Yeah, insane.
Look at the weekly candle. It's crazy.
Let me see the weekly. Jesus Christ. Gee, yeah, nobody was actually talking about this. That's
Yeah, look at the monthly. Look at the monthly candle.
Oh my lord. Nobody was talking about this.
When did you get the sign? May.
April, May.
That's when he gave you the sign. May. Exactly.
Nobody, it's funny because the media's not talking about
Nobody
this.
was talking about it except KP.
Insane. As a matter of fact, I do see a W though. Ooh, let me see if I can get this right. That's a bat. 886 is typically your ratio. 886 with a 2. Yup. This is a bat. Clean bat too. Well, 2 ratio. Boom. Yeah, so this party is gonna stop as well. Look at that fucking monthly. Look at the DMI. Straight up only RSI overbought territory. This thing is wild.
Okay, here's the problem. Banks cannot hide the demand of the physical silver and platinum and palladium anymore. They can't keep giving the papers. They can create papers, as many papers as they want, but they can't hide the fact that physical demand is real. So, just because of technical perspective that we're all the way up there, broke through all the levels, it doesn't mean we're still going to stop. All-time highs, more highly likely brings more all-time highs. That's what I believe.
I would be shitting in my pants seeing a chart like this and people jumping into this now. I would be scared.
Only like short-term plays.
Yeah.
Like couple of weeks out there. I already have swing contracts. I rolled them out. But I mean, you could do leaps even.
Ooh.
That's not going to cost much.
No.
You can look for 2027, long term, right? But I still keep my SLV contracts, January 16, $70 calls.
I'm looking at copper.
Currently up 65%.
I'm looking at copper as we speak. Do you feel like this is more of a sympathy play?
I think copper demand is real. AI demand is real. Look at water. Actually, AI has been drinking more water than humanity itself in 2020.
That's a good way to put it. That's true.
It is true.
Oh, that's fucking fun. That's actually a great analogy. I gotta use that. I'm gonna steal that. Everybody fucking follow JK for that. That was smart. AI is drinking more water than human.
It is. They are. That's what it's been in 2025. More drinking water. Also, that's fucked up. So look at, KP has been pounding the table on the water ETFs, right? PHOs. Take a look at that chart. Take a look at the monthly candle on the PHO.
PHR.
God candle, you want to call Moribazo candle, God candle, whatever you want to call.
PHR.
I don't know. P as in Peter, H. Oh,
PHO. Gotcha. Okay, I'm checking it now. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Let me see. Let me see. PHO. Invesco Water Resources ETF, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. On the monthly. Interesting. It's in an uptrend, that's for sure. Wow, it's actually a really clean uptrend. Wow. Whoa. Look at that. Monthly. Looks like a spy chart. What the fuck?
Let me see my other water. Please.
71.29 here. That's
Okay.
interesting.
This is gonna be like, this is the one that I found. Okay, this is not KP's. Primo Services, PRIM.
Primor Services. Okay, I'm checking it. Oh, yeah. This is a nice one. Nice chart. Up only. Wow. Up and to the right. Jesus. What is
We
this?
found it like in 2023.
2023? Wow. Well, that's one hell of a trade. I'll tell you that. That is one hell of a trade. I mean, if you just follow that 50, it failed, then you test that 100, slightly below it back in April 4th to 2025. After that, I mean, it's just been riding the EMAs, somewhat different. Oh, so looks like a little bit of structural change is about to happen here. Very interesting. Lower highs, a little bit sideways
Look at
action.
the weekly candle.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, the 20 daily, I mean the 20 EMA, I see it. Wow. Yeah, Marabuza, like you said, Marabuza on the weekly, very clean, up and up. 3 inside up. Look at that candle retested back at the exact 126.49, and now it's above it. And you're sitting above the 5, 10, and 20 weekly EMAs. Very fucking powerful. Only thing is lower highs, but you are making higher highs at the same time. So asymmetrical triangle at that, at best. So it must be an apex somewhere here. Yep, apex. It's actually on it as we speak. Interesting, interesting, interesting. This is a clean chart. Wow. You guys keep finding bangers. Good one, too. I love that analogy, though. AI's drinking more water. That's still stuck in my head.
It is. It is. It did. I read it in an article about water and, the water situation. And AI has drank more water than humans in 2025. So that's scary.
That is
We're gonna
fucking
have
scary.
to find filter the ocean water. That's what's gonna end up happening, I guess.
You know, I thought about that. Obviously, I'm not a scientist, but if we could, and somehow, that salt element inside the ocean water, if we can get rid of that, forget about it. The companies, institutions, corporations, hedges, they would just evaporate the world. They would 100% use the ocean water for their own means.
I mean, they could use the solar panels on the ocean. They already have companies publicly traded that actually uses waves and turns it into an energy, okay? So imagine you have solar panels on the waves just evaporating the H2O and delivering to the land. I mean, it's not that hard. It's just the cost and creation, and it's all comes into a game. It's not that they cannot do it; they're already doing it, but they're gonna have to find a way to do it in a less costly basis, right?
Right. I know what you mean. In terms of like the energy, with energy, solar, especially like what you said, turbines, turn the fucking turbine, and then you create energy, right? Input output makes sense, but who doesn't really want that to happen, right? Because who's gonna end up losing at the end of the day? Why you think in terms of like energy, it's always a conversation, but they're always lobbying against free energy, and we could do it. We can always do it, but they don't want that. Institutions don't want that sort of nonsense in their backyard. They'll allow it, but too much, they won't. They don't want people to have fucking powers in their hands, energy resources, and then your Con Edison bill will be cheap. You think Con Edison would want that to be
Very
rolling around?
surprising to see when I go to another country and in a European country, like I go to Turkey, right? When I go to Turkey, all the rooftops are filled with solar panels.
Yeah.
Iron houses 100% bill free. So their electricity, their water is all being heated by solar powers. Right? So I see these houses completely free from government charge. But in the United States, they make it very expensive for no reason. You know, there's a reason for that. So it was surprising for me to see when I was looking for solar panels how hard they made it for you guys to buy and maintain. And they put this idea in your head that you have to always get it checked up. There's always going to be problems. You always have to get it cleaned. No shit. It doesn't do that at all. Like my parents, they don't go up on the rooftop or hire anyone to get it clean. Trust me. Even if it's snowing out there, as long as there's just a little bit of sun, a little bit of light, you get hot boiling water. That's what I grew up with. I grew up with solar panel hot water we had all the time. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Anyway.
My actually many years ago, she was Romanian. Her house, and I guess, Europeans were, I don't know, I guess much more ahead of times in the Western world. But long story short, energy solar panels was like a very thing. Like it was just trending. Everybody was buying it. It's much more obviously energy efficient. It just made more sense in terms of long term. But nah, I'm watching, more of the energy sector than I ever have this year, especially going into 2026. I do want to start rotating some of my assets, allocating all of it back into the energy sector, looking at some of the tickers, because obviously we missed the run when Trump agenda was all about the energy. Remember, the first 3 or 4 or 5 months, it was just energy, this, mining, that, everything up, energy, energy, energy. Now you are getting a nice little pullback. So I definitely want to start rotating, or at least focusing a little bit more on energy sectors. I'm getting really tired of tech, to say the least. I'm getting tired of the fucking technology sector. It's pretty much nothing's more like Google, Tesla, Meta.
I mean, money is always rotating back to the tech. That's for sure, right? I mean, with this whole, but if you like the volatility, okay, Trump is like, oh, today I'm going to be under 50% the China tariffs. Next day, oh, I took it back for NVIDIA. Oh, NVIDIA shuts up to freaking 200. Okay, great. Next day, oh, I feel like my wife is having period right now. You're not feeling well. I'm just going to do 50% today. Like, what the heck, man? So you want to do, weekly trades, swing short term. It's great. I get it. Or you want to buy it for the next 10 years. I mean, I'm going to buy NVIDIA and just not going to touch it for the next 10 years. I understand. But other than that, look what they've been doing to energy actually since April. That was the dip on energy in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been actually going up.
Non-stop. That's just been
it's more steady. It's more steady.
There is a ticker I am eyeing. It's on my YouTube. NEXT. NEXT. I don't know.
Yeah, next era. Yeah, I know. Hold on, I have a phone coming. I'm gonna come back.
All right. Yeah, this ticker I've been eyeing. Shout out, another day, another trade on the YouTube chat. Good to see you again, brother. It's always nice to see you back. Let me know what other tickers you guys are looking at, especially the chat right now. Somebody posted on the pill. What's going on here? Let me see. Show pro CWCO. CWCO. You got to tag me next time. I got lucky if I didn't look at the purple pill. Consolidated Waters. Let's take a look at that. Whoa. Whoa. Consolidation. Uptrend. Looks like a bull flag. Now you broke. Failing that. So now you're just hitting 35.86. Oscillators making lower highs. Price action making higher highs. Positive DI is still good. Means uptrend continuation, but an uptrend nonetheless. 28 EMA weekly. Interesting. Very clean. ADX is pointing north, so that just screams more continuation to the upside. Very nice. Consolidating here in the range, so that's good to see. 36.24 top, bottom, arguably 33.35. That's your range-ish. Interesting. Multiple bearish divergences, too, on top of that. So, you know, after a massive move like that, you kind of do need to consolidate for a little bit or relax. But nonetheless, it is clean up only. Interesting. I guess I'll put this one on my radar. Good earnings. What is this thing? Consolidated Water Company Co. 42.50 price target year out. Engages in development operation of seawater desalination plants and water distribution system. It operates with the following segment: retail, bulk, and services. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Interesting. All right. Well, I'll put this one on the watch list. Put in the energy sector for now. I really do like that commentary, though. AI's been drinking. I see somebody request. I don't know why it keeps messing up. All right. Let me see the YouTube chat. Another day. If you're still there, let me know what ticker. Typically, you always have some tickers to look at because you trade. So let's see. TMQ. I'm just going through the watch list. This is what I normally do on a Sunday. Just watch tickers, go through them very quickly, and say, hey, is it a pullback? Is it an up only? AXTI, TMRC, 72 cents. Interesting. What is this? This is energy play. Texas Mineral Resources, 72 cents. Peaked at $2.96. We'll just say 3. Actually did peak at 3. Interesting. Texas Mineral House is getting a nice little pullback. TRMC back to the penny days. Interesting. USAR 1351, NB 569, another energy company, non-module, consolidating here after the peak around $12, consolidating around 6, and 520 is your base. Interesting. And it had good earnings allegedly. So why? All right, I'm going to put this one on my watch list. I got to chart this one a little bit more, so we'll see what happens here. AREC, another one. A lot of pullback. After this one peaked at $7.14, bottom at $2. Wow. So struggling to break above the 236, but I like how it's trying to break up 278 above the 236. And if you guys don't know, if you start getting candles price action above the 236, you have an 80% chance to get to the 382. If you guys didn't know that. I'm inviting you guys. I don't know who is trying to speak. I clicked it already. GK. I'm not sure why. I still see requests. I'm inviting. I don't know if you're kicked out or anything.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know why I look as a listener.
Oh,
Weird.
it just fixed it, so there's no more requests. Okay, you're back on. So what's going on? Anyway, just to finish.
Myself as a listener for some reason, but anyway, maybe it's just a small glitch.
It's a bug, yeah. So just finishing off AREC, guys, especially in the YouTube. Above the 236, 278 on this ticker. The more you have candles above the 236, you have an 80% chance to get to 382, 338. So notice how price action is trying to break above the 278 here. I like that. But it's not sustainable. So always wait for multiple confluences, aka candles sitting above the 236. The more candles you have here, the higher the probability of getting to that 333. So interesting. This ticker is very interesting. It's trying to fight back here, and if you notice that 50 SMA also on the daily, or excuse me, the 3-day time frame. Interesting. So found support here, trying to test that 236. Yada yada yada. Let me check the YouTube chat. Saul. Amy's on my radar. I don't know why, but we just happen to be sitting above the 5 and 10 EMA on the 3-day. Amy is another mineral company. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's a mineral company. As I stated before, I am focusing a lot more rotating my assets into energy sectors. And look at that positive DI above the 80x, excuse me, about to hit the 80x, but you're above the 25 basis. RSI is still leaning a little more downside, but the trend is still what? Slightly up. Slightly up. But you, Amy, I like it. 510, you're acting as support, not resistance. Previously, it was acting as resistance. You rejected the 20 EMA on the 3-day time frame. But look at the bounce. Look at the support bounce right at that 10 EMA. Is it going to be a continuation to the upside? Not a fucking Houdini. But I will say this. We got the structure right there at that 236, 622. We're literally sleeping at the 236. But that's not enough to confirm an uptrend. You wait for price action, in this case, using your Fibonacci retracements or placements. Wait for the 236 multiple candles above there so you have a higher statistical probability getting to that 382. You don't take a trade unless you have what? Confirmation. Confirmation. I didn't even check this guy's Twitter, so I might be fucked here. Are you legit? Iterative Analytics looks legit.
The Friday's action didn't look so good, so let's see on that UAME.
UAME, yeah. Let's see what happens. I am leaning.
I'm not a big fan of the Friday action. It may continue to go down a little and make another, lower low. You never know.
Lower high, lower low. I agree with you. And I'm leaning very, very bearish in the market. I'm leaning very bearish in the market. SPY is screaming bearish. Roaring fucking bearish.
We're going to hit 7,000 before the end of the year. I think that's their goal. Don't you think? They want to touch that 7,000 and then sell off.
You know, market makers are not going to make it easy for us. They're going to make it so fucking complicated for us. Even though we see the bearishness, they're going to make it super hard for us. Iterative, what's going on? Analytics or Clinty. I hope he's not porn dumping. I'll tell you that much. Let me double check his account. Doesn't look like a porn dumper. My fingers. Okay, he's not a porn dumper. 542 posts. Okay, he looks legit. Must be having some issues. Probably got a phone call. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, going back to the energy, UAME absolutely can completely come crashing down. But, you know, SPY acting as a battery. I hope everything comes crashing down because I don't mind buying stocks that cheap. That's for sure. You were saying something, Iterative?
Oh, yeah, hi. GK was mentioning solar panels, so I bought Canadian Premium Sand. It's CPS.
CPS.
Charlie Peter Sam. It's on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Oh, okay. Is it in the? Can we put it in the Nasdaq? I mean, is there other New York? Yeah, it's on the stock. Actually, CPS. It says here, producer manufacturing copper standard holdings, right?
Canadian Premium Sand.
No, okay. So I see copper
Canadian,
standard. Okay.
Canadian Premium Sand, positioned to be the only patterned solar glass supplier in North America.
Got you. I see it now. I just pulled it up. Jesus Christ. Well, wait a minute. Why is this chart all down?
Only
The markets have been down
North America.
since late September, right? Small cap.
Have you seen the company JLW?
JLW.
GLW.
GLW, not J.
GLW. I see it now. Somehow I drew this back in the day. Wow, I drew this many, many months ago. Holy shit. Yeah, it's about to hit resistance too. What the fuck? GLW. Yeah, scalding here. Hitting resistance.
That's Corning Glassware, right?
Yeah. Corning Incorporated. Electronic Technology. I must have drawn this many months ago because I'm looking at the color that I used, my measurement rule. I haven't used that color in months. And I'm actually on the chart right now. And it's about to hit that resistance line.
Ooh.
Yeah. Holy shit! It actually got there too at that peak. God damn, this thing has been up only. Fuck.
You should have put an alert on that line that you put.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why I didn't.
Okay, that's the only theme I wanted to put out there. Glass for solar panels.
Glass for solar. That's a smart one, actually. Is there any companies in the Nasdaq that do the same thing? That's a good. That's interesting. I've never thought about that actually. Is there one in the United States trading in Nasdaq or anything like that? I'm too lazy to Google right now.
I'm asking AI already.
Awesome. Glass solar. Oh, you know who? You know which one is going parabolic? TE, and obviously, everybody and their mother's talking about this ticker in terms of what I hear in space.
FSLR.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep saying this chart is beautiful. This chart is magnificent. We do need a retracement, though, I'll tell you that much. I do want to try and catch this bottom around. If we can get it back to 475, that'd be fucking great. Are we going to get there? I have no idea. No, that was some good information there, iterative. I appreciate that.
So FSLR came up, JLW came up. OI. This company primarily benefits from strong demand for glass packaging and other general purpose glass products, not specialized solar panels.
OI.
ARRY.
Let me just go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I'm going to post in the Discord. ARRY. Array Technologies. Oh. Oh. Oh, I like this.
Pretty bullish, huh?
Yeah.
3 to 10 cents.
It's going to have to try and break its key resistance. Yeah. It's hitting at key resistance 1034. Other than that, whoa. Daily looks good. Positive DI above 25. ADX. Oh boy, above the 25 base. Yeah, this might actually be a continuation, to be honest with you. Looks interesting here. I don't see no bearishness yet. I mean, you pretty much you have something called an advanced block formation, short candles at that peak top, but if you notice the candle structures, there's technically no concerns yet. So this could potentially keep going up. Interesting.
Even look at ENPH.
EMPH? EMPH. Oh my, what? Empato?
All these guys been in the bottom and seems like they're crossing some cute major levels.
AMPH. Guys, give me one.
ENPH. N-phase.
N-phase.
N-phase energy.
I got it. Just pulled it up. Let me, guys, I'll be right back. Let me go use the bathroom.
Confirmation. Yeah, quiet.
You can take here.
I would wait for a confirmation on these stickers.
Be right back, guys. I just made you co-host just in case.
Okay. I mean, it's good to look at these charts at these levels. Why? When silver was 20, no one was buying. Now everyone wants to buy silver. And we have something that's clear. Demand to energy. That's clear. And where Trump has been signing up, Very good. So let's see, EMPH.
All right. Back. EMPH. This is the last one that we looked at. Interesting chart, actually. Looks like an inverted head. But struggling to break above 33.37. Interesting. In a downward trend, though, that's for sure. In a downward trend. I'm watching my watch list. NB is another one. No idea what they do. I'm just scrolling through, see if there's any patterns that impresses me. This is what I typically do on a Sunday. Figure I go live. And that's fucking Shah. Shah, welcome. It's always nice to see him.
Yeah.
What up? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, my volume just went down. What's going on?
It's good now.
What's up, Shah? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing continuing education credits for life insurance licensing right now while I'm talking to you. There's a timer on the page, Sammy. You can't just hit next, like real fast all the way through. You hit next and it's like 130 seconds. You got to wait until you hit next again. It's killing me.
On the website?
Yeah.
We're just chit-chatting, charting, just finding some place for next week. Sometime.
Trying to find the gems. Look at Zcash.
What's going on with Zcash? I haven't seen that in a while.
Take a look at it.
Let me see. Ooh. Yeah, I see a W as well, but that's going to be short-lived because this thing is up. Up and away. Up and away. We were looking at this too. Remember we were talking about this thing? It was like around 330, 317 or some shit like that. And look where it's at now.
Yeah.
We were looking at this. That's an alt bat. Yeah, but that's going to be way up there at the 113 and 36. I'll leave that there. Interesting. Yeah, it's still got more legs to the upside. I like that. I got a finisher. Oh, well, let me check that D leg real quick. Yeah, up and only. Up and away. Very nice. Just gonna. So this harmonic completes around 744. What I got going on. Essentially where that point is at 744. Strong fucking chart. Up only, dude. Should have gotten it. I should have gotten it when I had the chance.
So, yeah, you should have. We were talking about that at between 20 and 30 bucks.
I wasn't even in space. I wasn't even in your space at 20, dude. That was like, that was epic, man. That was a good call out.
Yeah.
Great stuff, bro. So more or less Bitcoin's just pretty much on a shitter right now. It's just lower, just doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. SPY, I'm still leaning bearish. That's to say nonetheless. We're looking at energy sectors, energy plays. All the data center plays are coming down a little bit here. Can't argue with that. NUAI obviously breaking out of that bull flag, cup and handle. Take a look at the weekly. Looks great. WLF, again, taking a shitter with APLD. UEC, sideways. Everything's in the YouTube. I'm actually live as we speak. It's in the nest. Shah's got life insurance if you guys need them.
What's that?
I said you have life insurance if you guys need it. Can't go wrong with that.
The whole life policy as a trading financial instrument. It's a tax bypass for your beneficiaries. So keep that in mind as you trade and do things. You should have a whole life policy. You can lever against it as well.
Beautiful. TTAI, guys, up only. Ticker TTI, excuse me. This thing is up only. Would never FOMO up here, but it's an interesting chart. Crazy how it just went up only. I have no idea what they do. This one just actually hit my scanners. Waiting for a pullback if there is one. So we'll see what happens. It's been riding that 20 EMA. I mean, on that daily 20 daily EMA, it's just been consistent. It's been like fucking biblical on this thing. So I'll wait for it to touch
Guess
the
what
20.
they do? Guess what we have been talking about it just a few minutes ago.
What do they do?
Energy services and solutions company focused on developing environmentally conscious services. All right. Energy, oil, gas industry, drilling.
You know what's funny? I was in one of these spaces. Long story short, there was a very, very, like, this man was just in a random space, no followers, and he just kept talking about like the energy sector that no one's talking about is drilling. Kid you not. But the guy, his IQ, phenomenal. But he said no one's looking at the drilling, and drilling is a necessity. I said, oh shit. And I don't know why I didn't save some tickers he was talking, but drilling or companies that are in that sector is something to look. As a matter of fact, let me write that down right now, actually. So later on I can do my homework. But I'm going to write that down.
Top of the morning, Sammy.
What's going on? What's up, Alpha? Nice to see you again.
Same here, brother. Take a look at XEL.
XEL, Excel Energy. Ooh, there's an M. I like that. I like that. I like that knife. I like the bounce. I like the recovery. I like that M. I smell an M. Ooh. Let me see if I can get a nice one. Oh, yeah. Bullish divergence deep in the bear zone. You got the positive DI coiling up with the ADX above the 25 base. Negative DI coiling down. Happy candles on that, and a bullish belt hold at the key support line from the previous consolidation breakout zone. This thing is about to fuck. What is this? What is this shit? Let me get the right harmonic completion point, actually. Let me get the 382. That's a 382. A leg with an 886. Let me see if I can get an 886. Yeah, no, all bats are actually 113s. All right, so that we can cancel. That looks like a goddamn crab, though. Anyway, besides the point, the 5 and the 10, this thing looks like it wants to have a nice little run up here. I like the reaction off of the sell-off here, and you found the base. You're above the 5, and you're smacking that 10 on the daily. But I love the positive DI coiling. I like that. I like that a lot. I got to find the hat. You got to, like, this could be a continuation run to the upside. Bounce off that 20 SMA on the daily, but look at that. Instead of EMAs acting as resistance, they're acting as what? Support. And I preach that. If you want confirmation on any trend, especially when you have a fucking massive knife catch, wait for the EMAs to act as what? Not resistance, but support. Key. So you touched it, you reacted to it, algos hit, and now you have short candles to the upside. Now touch that 10. This thing looks good. Let me see the Fibonacci's on this thing. Oh, damn. So my Fib 236, 7481. Again, if it gets there, consolidates above the 236. I always preach this 382. 80% statistical probability getting there. As long as you have candles sitting above the 236, multiple candles at that. Everybody uses Fibonacci's very differently. But in this case, in terms of this retracement here, this looks really good. It wants to fight for that 236, 7481. Nicely done. Nice chart, too. I love these knives, man. That's my style. Good stuff, bro. I got to keep this one on my radar.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it, bro.
Yeah, good shit. Good motherfucking shit. All right, putting this one on here. Wait for those confirmation. XL Energy. There you go. XEL. Nice. Very nice. We were just talking about energy. I think, you know.
Take a look at another drilling company, NBR.
Narbros Industry. My lord. Up fucking only. Up. I love that 50 bounce consecutively. Look at that. Beautiful daily 50, 50 bounce, 50 bounce, 50 bounce. Did it fucking 4 or 5 times, more than 4 or 5 times. Look at that. Look at that. Hit a key resistance. Actually, you can even argue this is something called a 3 rising valleys, if you guys know the measurement rule off that. This looks like a 3 rising valley formation candle that we're seeing here, actually. So 50 SMA, lower highs, breakout, then had another bombastic move to the upside. Interesting. The RSI is above the center line, always continuously staying above. If you guys notice on the YouTube, I'm pointing it out. It's all in the nest. Love how it's staying above the RSI center line. That means continuation run to the upside. And every time you print bearish divergence on that RSI, that means, rightfully so, retracement. But one thing is for sure, this thing has the potential for more up move. Now, the question is it going to retest the 50 again? Because if you notice the consolidation from the previous actions, well, sat there, but we only had like a slight move, like one touch and then up, barely touch it, but then up. So we are making lower highs at this end. So I would watch this. It could potentially have a nice little pullback, but yeah, RSI screams potential continuation. But I would want this to come back and test that 50 one last time to confirm this continuation. But holy fuck. Had a golden cross on top of that right there exactly on October 20th of 2025. And it was just dick up only. Interesting. Very interesting. I do like this though. But I would wait.
You can look at it as SDRL.
SDRL. Seadrill Limited. Consolidation. Is this a drilling company?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So let me actually make a whole new watch list because drilling, I think, like I said, no one's really looking at drilling sectors. And, man, the value that this gentleman gave the other day, I was shocked. My jaw dropped. They're the essential for energy, drilling companies. It was fascinating, the amount of alpha. So CDRL basically consolidating. It's in a range right now. But flat looks like it's 29.15. Top is exactly 33. So we are at that 33 top range. Let's see if it breaks out. It likes to have like little wicks at the 34, but it keeps rejecting 34. So 34, 34. We're actually about to hit, again, 34. Let's see if it breaks out. If it breaks out of that. This would be like very risky in terms of where we are now because it just tends to just fail at 34. But very interesting. And it is an energy sector, but you got the 5 and the EMAs all acting as support. Another thing that's really positive. But it's, again, let's see what happens if it touches that 34. Hopefully we don't get a rejection here, but this could be something nice, actually. Let me see what the DMI says.
Sammy, if you're looking at like drilling and fracking plays, always just keep an eye on RIG, RIG.
RIG. Let me take a picture of SDRL. Let me put it on the Discord real quick. SDRL. RIG. Let's take a look at RIG. Oh, my God. Oh. Okay. Golden cross. Price target $4. Up only. Touching 50. Very interesting. Very fucking interesting. This is actually inside something called a bar. No, it's not a bar. Bump and run patterns. No. So bump and run patterns are 32 degrees at an angle, and then it actually has to break out of a trend line, but that's not the volatility I'm looking for. But nonetheless, this thing is actually fucking nice. Upward trend is actually clean. 50 estimates its life support clear as day. Clear as fucking day. $4 price target. 19 million in volume. Yeah, this one's a play. Yeah, this one's on my radar right now. This one's a play. Good find. This one's a play. I gotta do more chart on this one. But this one, clear as day, upward channel. And it's a drilling company. I'm telling you, no one's talking about drilling. I wouldn't bring it up if my jaw dropped when I listened to this guy who has no fucking following. He was just spitting alpha the other day. I'm like, holy fuck. And look at this, RIG. RIG, upward channel. Look at the trend. Support 50. Boom. Touch it.
Yeah, we were looking at RIG a little bit ago. Butters was.
Was he?
Absolutely.
Oh, dude. It's a beautiful fucking chart. Gorgeous. Need more time to chart this thing, but this is beautiful. To say none the less, man. Yeah, this one's on my radar. Let me check the fib retracements here. Yeah, you're above the 382, touch the 5. So now you're between the 3 and the 5. Really nice. Really nice. Good find. I'm gonna put this one on the radar. I'm gonna put that one there. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining, tuning in. Figured we needed spaces because there was no market, financial spaces like we normally do in the hellscape. So Plus, I'm live on YouTube. That's my channel on the NES. Please hit the follow button. If not, oh well. Life goes on. Cypher, like I said, data center companies are all coming down. Robotics you always need. LAC is another mining company. I think this one was like a Trump play. It's actually finding a double bottom again, or 446 here. It's coming back down at the 446. This one's going to be interesting to see here. Not sure how how this is going to pan out in the future, but if I'm not mistaken, I think this was a Donald Trump play. LAC's coming at an opportunity level, essentially. SES battery play. Oh yeah, one of the crispy plays. AMPX. AMPX. A crispy play is the right play. Crispy play is the right play. So AMPX, I'm watching like literally 716 levels, $6.70 levels. That's like what I'm looking at. Hopefully it gets there, but who knows? I got a harmonic completion right at the 886, so that would align with the RSI deep in the oversold territory. I mean oversold territory right in the bear zone. Wait for bullish divergences, confirmation lines, RSI, failure swings, whatever have you. Find your happy candle, guys. And yeah, if anybody wants to throw up some tickers, conversations, go right ahead. I don't mind the macro talk today. It's Sunday. No one's doing anything on a Sunday. I'm working right now. Working on finding the next opportunity going into this week's. I am very bearish on SPY, to say the least, and I will keep reiterating that. I just did a whole segment on SPY. Check out the YouTube video that I uploaded 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Take a look at that. Other than that, yeah.
One we mentioned on Shaw's Space on Christmas was GSIT.
GSIT.
Yeah, it had a big move on Friday.
Holy shit, it did. Golly, 27%. Whoa. Whoa. And I'm... Whoa. God damn. If you guys called this out, nice fucking trade, man. If you guys called this out, nice fucking trade. Really nice. And there is a W here. I like those droopy W's. Yeah, but the ratio, no. So that's null and void. There is maybe I can catch this upward trend here. Looks like a butterfly. Yeah, 127. Yeah, 127. Let me see that 168. Yeah, 168. 127. Yep. 168. 1618, excuse me. Yep, butterfly. Yeah, so this move obviously happened here. Wow, what's the news on this one? What happened here? Percentage gainers, GSI Tech. Senior Vice President sells 40,000 shares. Something happened here. It must have been some sort of news catalyst or something. Really nice call out. Wow.
It's all based on the SRAM chips.
Oh, so this could potentially be a continuation run. All right, so this one's
They've sold off their building, but they leased it back for 10 years. It ran up to what, $14 before for us when Shaw chartered it a while ago. It was breakout, pullback, and let's see where it continues to go.
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%. Wicks tell you everything. So, but we do need, they're in the memory chips, DDR and all that good stuff, right?
That's RAM.
RAM, yeah. Memory, yeah, it says it right here. Static random access memory, or SRAM, yep. Companies like SanDisk, SanDisk, I might get SNDK, excuse me. Upward only. Up and away. That's why I feel like AMD is like so undervalued right now. Like AMD, in my opinion, again, I don't know anything about what their financials look like, but in terms of like their moat, it's powerful. And the fact that they're trading at 215, I feel like it's still undervalued. But what do I know, right? Second best to NVIDIA. Powerful. I remember watching AMD at fucking $8. $8. Like 7 years or 8 years ago. Crazy.
So one of the most powerful ones is LITE.
LITE. Gee.
When we charted that originally with Shaw, it was at like $42.
Whoa. LITE. This.
Yeah, that thing ripped.
Dude, it
Shaw,
is.
when we first started that, it was $42. It hit all-time highs at 400 last week.
Vertical. What's up, Irritive? You want to speak? Wow. Great fucking play, man. 42. 42 back here. Wow, dude. We need some of those game boxes moving forward. Jeez Louise, man. That's why we need one of those tech bros to come up here and like, hey, what's the next opportunity when it comes to tech? Like, you know, we can try education like Coursera.
Well, K to 12. I recently bought LRN, Larry, Robert, Nancy, because there's MAGA is fulminating against Indian immigration. So I figured, the U.S. is very entrepreneurial and capitalistic, and they'll look to upgrade the educational quality of their students.
You don't think that it's gonna be subdued to AI? What's your view on that?
You're still going to need workers who understand the technology.
Fair. I do see the chart. Something happened here.
Yeah, I had a big drop, so I figured that was a good time to buy.
I like the way you think. Very nice. Very nice. Reminds me of Nike. Everybody was scared of those big red candles, but Nike ended up fucking not Steve Jobs, what's his name? Tim Cook. Essentially saved the day there. Interesting. Yeah, but so their mode is just educational based, like they're just trying to
Technology company, they're providing education services for K through 12 education, career learning, professional skills training, talent development.
Okay. Very different than what I normally look at. Interesting chart. I'm going to keep this one on the radar. I'll just put this one on the list. Interesting where it goes. Interesting. On the weekly, let me see the daily here. Oh, yeah. I mean, you are touching your EMAs. That's great. Algos are triggering. Now trying to break above the 20. Okay. We'll see what happens. You can argue it's in a consolidation range, right? Look at that. Failing to break above 66.72, failed it again and again and again, eventually come back down, touch 60.93. If you look left, been a good support bouncer, or at least essentially a support. So interesting. That's where your volume average low is on your VRVP as well. So let's see what happens. I respect people that buy knives, catch knives. That's my style. But the fact you bought it based off in terms of their moat, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
I was in at 64.
Okay. Could be a consolidation range here. We'll see. Good stuff, man. I respect knife catchers. Bitcoin 87,693 here on the 1 hour. Just watching this thing. Obviously not doing anything.
I had that down to 74.
I hope the Lord, the market gods can hear you. I hope they fucking hear you, man. I can't short in this range here. It's just been, I've been having so much fun shorting Bitcoin, but I just cannot short it here. It's just too risky.
Yeah, I don't know how I would short it, but I think it's going to 74.
Yeah. I hope it does. I do want to get Solana though. I mean, I'm not a big crypto guy, but like if there's any shit coin I want to buy, it would be Solana. Zcash already left. Everything else follows Bitcoin. But Solana is the only one I would technically throw money at. I think they were gonna release a video game hardware or something like that. So I don't know if that's still going, but that was the last time I heard about Solana. They're doing like this whole DeFi universe gaming platform, whatever the hell that is. There's a death cross on Solana on the 3-day. Let me check the daily real quick. All right, so the death cross already happened on the daily. So this thing looks like it should continue puking down, which I don't mind. If any little crypto bros want to come up, please. What's going on with Solana's little hardware situation? Is that still a thing? I do see 2 requests here. Oh, Pata! First and foremost, we got to get Patal up here. Patal, let me hear you speak. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Listen, I don't want you to go, bro. Don't do it. Don't do
I
it.
just gotta settle down and have family and stuff, man. Trying to get ducks to be that way and then worry about life later. But here, let's get back to what you're saying, Solana. Okay. You could say that. Is it below that? Death crosses have been shown to be not always accurate, right? In certain time frames, whether you look at the 50 going below the 200, right? Just for everyone that doesn't know. You reach silver cross, right? Golden cross, right? So 50 going above the 100, and then 50 going above the 200, right? For those two. But with cryptocurrency, I've seen this over a period of time. It invalidates itself, right? So whether you're using exponential moving averages or simple moving averages, right? So why? Is because what is the math behind those indicators, right? The Riemann summations, right? Just a little bit of stats there for you. So I would tell you, Sammy, on cryptocurrency, I've seen using anchored volume weighted average price or a Hull moving average. If you're going to use Hull's more adaptive, okay? Same thing, it's called a KAMA, K-A-M-A. It's a Kaufman adaptive moving average. Those are a little bit different with their math on the back end, okay? Just because I'm not saying that it doesn't make a difference of death crosses or golden crosses, or as I say, the silver crosses, but those are just there. And why? What is the variance of price? What is the ATR, ADR, or the rate of change, right? These are other indicators that their math doesn't work with that or does it not. So the indicators I would tell people to use are, what are you looking for? Are you looking for reversals? Are you looking for bottoms or basings, right? And why is because you would want to use a variety of different ones, about 2 or 3 together, and then more than that in different time frames. So multimodal, okay? So if I'm looking at Solana, okay, getting back to that, let's just simplify it instead of me getting all technical, okay? That's what we have to learn how to do, and what I kind of do partially, not just on the one side of analysis. Where it's at right now, it really needs all that level. Seriously. I would say the level that it would be imperative is around 125.97 from December 25th, 2023. Around that area has been where it's basically trying to find support and resistance going all the way back April 2024 on the 11th of May. Okay, also going to August of 2024, September 6th of 2024. So if you're looking at that for that reason, I agree with you, man. Even I could keep going. February 27th, 2025. March 10th, 2025. And then where we dipped into April. Okay. And then also December 17th, okay, of this year. So this in area that you're talking about is definitely hands on agree. I would use 2 other indicators to confirm that, which would be a Hull on a 9-day. You can extend it out, but just keeping it simple there.
You don't like the whole? Is it essentially the whole suite? Because I messed around with the whole suite, or is it 2 different ones?
When you're saying the whole suite, are you talking about Hull, or which ones are we talking
Whole suite, at whole, and then SUITE, whole suite. Is it essentially almost the same thing?
It's pretty much, but Hull, I just use a standard Hull, which is a 9-day average.
Right.
Okay, on Hull moving averages, right? So I haven't messed around with Hull suite.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll take a look at that indicator. I always like learning about new indicators. I've actually, consolidated my experience just with the RSI and now the DMI. Tell me, do you know anything? Do you know anything about the DMI?
Indexes, so DMIs are directional move indexes. They work with ADXs.
What's your feel? How do you like about them?
Pros and cons, right?
Right.
I would use those with, look, parabolic SAR and ATR, those work well together, right? So there's certain ones that work well together. I put Donchian channels if you're looking for trend shifts as well.
I always like the alpha you bring to the table, brother. So keep spitting, man. Keep going.
So Don chain channels are really good, right? So they're kind of like, you have Bollinger Bands, you have counter channels, right? Don chain channels, check those out. All of these have pros and cons.
Of course.
And like what I'm trying to state is, what you're looking for is what you're looking for, but in what time frame as well.
Absolutely.
So why? Is because certain times people just slap stuff on there, right? Like I'll put a common one, relative strength index, right? It's pretty common for trend or momentum direction, right? But there's pros and cons to that. Usually people put an MA on that as well, right? To smooth it out. Just like moving average convergence, divergence, right? So most people, like you have the MAs that they use on MACD. I've back tested this, man. It's inaccurate with these types of markets these days, with the average rates of change, right? So they don't work as effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and this is more for people that are in these types of spaces, trading and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, it's a different time frame. So
And different market makers too. Like,
exactly.
Right, yeah. It's like the 50 moving average might work on one chart, maybe it doesn't have action on another chart. Different market makers might respect something.
Look, I would zoom out. How many trading days are they in a year?
There's 365, what you talking about?
How many trading days are they in a year?
365, man.
No.
That's how many days in a year? I would have to AI that.
That's like the traditional. You're right when it comes to crypto.
I'm about to say,
About
crypto's open
252.
24/7, baby.
Yeah, you're right there. Like 366 on leap years, right? But we're not in a leap year till next year. But yeah,
That was so technical. I like that.
So 250 to 252. Okay, so if you're looking at the fact of the fractal nature now, we have GAN, right? You can have even Wyckoff. Those are longer time periods. Those work in longer time periods. People look for confirmation bias on these lower time frames and like, oh, this is Wyckoff. No, it's not. Wyckoff didn't go down to intraday levels. GAN did not go down. GAN went to India to get his mathematics anyways, first of all, WD GAN. And if you're going to look at that, okay, it's just a little history there. But 4 years, how many days is that now, GK?
What is it? Yeah.
Four is about 1,000, right? So 1,000-day average. Okay, now zoom out and put 1,000 MA on.
Yeah, we do look at 500 day.
Or 500. Or like premise, you said 365, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna be closer to like 13 to 1,500, somewhere around there.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Now, if you're going to look for absolute bottoms, but I back tested this on some of these cryptocurrencies, and it does not work as effectively as you think it would. Okay, so there's pros and cons even to that logic. Right, so
with crypto being more volatile, I always figure you probably want to use faster indicators, like faster time, lower time frames.
Yeah, exactly.
On the averages and stuff, just because of the volatility. I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you a question, brother. Top of the morning to you as well, man. Appreciate you coming in.
No worries, man.
Yeah, brother. Always a blessing having you. You've been spitting some real gems lately, bro. Like you're really changing my whole aspect of my trading, what I look at charts. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good people in this space.
Absolutely. Any thoughts on B-Rock? I'm trying to implement.
You said which one? ROC?
V-Rock, volume rate of change.
Volume rate of change. I would tell you more on balance volume if you're looking for volume shifts. OBV.
What was that again, Patel?
On balance volume.
Yeah, I thought that's more for DCA, not trading necessarily. I know big firms use VWAP for like DCA and this stuff. I'm not
the
sure
volume
if
rate
it's
is
trading.
So if you're looking at rate of change, right, and you're combining that rate of change, which is basically just from whatever time frame you're looking at, when you're involving the volume, right, I tell you volume weighted average price is more accurate for what you're possibly looking at. I don't know what when you ask that question, not to pry, but is there a reason you're looking at V-Rock?
Well, what I do is I'm running the anchor.
Okay.
With a plotted VWAP. And then I'll have the V-Rock right next to me on my
on just whatever you're looking at. Okay. No.
Just watching it and use it as strength.
Okay, so it can be good. let me just make sure I got the math on this and remember it correctly. So, all right, so VROC is current volume minus volume end periods divided by volume end periods. Go. You could use it, okay? Are you asking if it's good to use? I mean, it has, to me, on balance volume kind of tells you a little more.
Okay.
I would use them kind of together.
Gotcha. I can do that.
And then you can still put your volume weighted average price on there. Why I like VWAP, right? But anchored volume weighted average price. Okay, the anchored, why is because when we have these tops or bottoms, okay, whether we're looking at year to date highs, year to date lows, okay, usually those are also where you see shifts in trend, obviously, right? And there's always, more times than not, there's also shifts in the volume itself there. So you could use all three together. I mean, you don't have to. You know, I try to simplify it there, but I would definitely use VWAP with it, just to add on to that. Right, and I'd use Anchor.
Right on, bro. Yeah, I added it. As soon as you...
The Anchor is different, and you can manually add the anchors, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to give you, I mean, for Bitcoin, let me tell you, Shah's not here, but for Bitcoin, for Solana, since we're talking about Solana, Sammy, what I did with Solana, okay, is I'll take the anchor, okay, from obviously the peak high that we had on Solana, okay, on basically the 19th of January, okay, take a look at that. And that's the anchor volume weighted average price. Until Solana is on a daily time frame. Until we get to about 133.09, okay, Solana is just chopping around.
Essentially with coins like...
Sammy, you got one of the best chart guys in here in the room right now, Blunt House. He'll tell you all about it.
If he wants to come up stage, that'd be great. Yeah, sure. Let me get him.
I think we talk with Blunt House on this every morning.
Oh, you guys are buddies, huh?
Well, he's been trained by sometimes one of the people that him and I both know. Blunt is a very humble person, but
Probably one of the best chartists out there.
yeah.
You're pumping my tires, Butters.
Hey, buddy, we only speak every day, bud.
I know. What are you guys looking at?
So we were kind of looking at different indicators, and then we were also looking a little bit at Solana. So I was trying to tell him about your 1,000-day that we've kind of tested.
Yeah.
So that's just on those types, but we were figuring out, like, hey, can we still use certain moving averages or what indicators? Various asset classes.
The thing that I like to try and do is just try and box in price within support and resistance. And, if we use Solana as an example, you look at the longer term time frames, and this is probably going to apply to everything right now, but I mean, this is still, like, we're still in a downtrend. And I think everyone's looking for the area that, hey, is this where we kind of start to base out and maybe turn a corner? Solana's weekly, where price sits right now, is kind of structural, right? You don't really want to break this level and then start looking, to the base of those two train tracks from earlier this year, from what is that, March and April? Because I think that's your lower range. Like, I have 127.80 to 104.60 as a range that I just quickly boxed in, and we're obviously within that now. The 1,000 doesn't show up on this chart, but let's just for fun, if you look at Bitcoin on a weekly chart or a daily chart, let's look at the daily because I know it's there.
On BTC, yeah.
Yeah, so my methodology is really pretty simple. I believe in fibs, fractals, and filters. That's the basis of how I go about analyzing charts and trading. And with the understanding that this is a language, right? Math is a language. Everything we do is based on mathematics, and our technicals are helping us interpret what the market is telling us. In Bitcoin, where we rolled over, at the 123, 124 area, is right at what they call the upper value range of the volume profile. And you can get a volume profile that's in your trading view indicators, and what it does is it shows you where the volume has and has not been. And if you look, if you happen to have one on your chart right now, you'll see that there's just a massive volume gap that price fell into. And once you fall into those gaps to the downside or move into them to the upside, price has a tendency to move through them pretty quickly, and that's kind of what happened with Bitcoin. And it's a simple matter of breaking one level and finding the next. You're trading above all your support. You break one level, you'll look for the next level. So you break the 20, you'll find the 50. You break that, you're going to find the 200. You break the 200, the next level down is the 500, right? And that's where price sank right down to there, spent 3 days playing around, and then broke, and then treated that as resistance. Bang, 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 and then couldn't break 500 days, capitulated, and now it's treating the 20 as that resistance. It's treating price the same way. And the big thing for me is looking at it on a weekly, because you've had 5 weeks of price sitting on top of the upper value range with a gap beneath it and the 100-day moving average. So you just spend like 5 weeks there. And when you look at the weekly chart, you kind of see the first leg down, but no real attempt to go higher. And a couple of the metrics that I use, Sammy, is a 5 EMA and a T-line. And a T-line is just simply the 8 EMA. And if you're looking at your weekly chart, you'll see that price, can't break the 5 EMA, and it can't break the T-line. And every time it tries, it closes below. And the gap or the divergence between those two levels, the 5 and the 8, is telling you that the downtrend is still intact. So I see price sitting on 100. I see that big volume gap beneath. I think if you look at your weekly and you look to the left, you're going to see some concentrated price going back from March 24 until October 24, and then back into 21. You'll see price in and around that 65 to 58 range. And then you've got the 200-day creeping up into that range. So the chart's still telling us on the weekly that we're in a downtrend. We've been spending 5 weeks at the 100 MA and the upper value range with the gap beneath us, and the 200 MA waiting to be touched. So we broke the 20 on the weekly, we found the 50. We broke the 50, we found the 100. We're still sitting on top of it, but if we break it, you'll find the 200. And current price will look for past price, and that's why that kind of area that I've outlined, where that bench is, that's where buyers and sellers have shaken hands in the past, and current price will be attracted to those areas. And again, it's not abnormal to hit the 200 on a weekly chart, and that's probably what we're going to do. I know that's not uplifting, but sorry.
No,
but I think that's kind of where we're at.
I think may the market gods hear your roar, man, because I personally would like Bitcoin all the way down there. I got a target at 55. Shah's got a target at 76, 78. So we're all pointing down here. So for sure.
Yeah.
And
you're picking up. I love what you're picking up. Those two candles at the 50 from September 24. That's your 55. I really like that range.
Bingo, bingo.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna give you a follow. That's awesome. Never heard of you. Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
Hopefully you come up on these. I do a little bit more of the technical spaces. I'm not a finance bro. Never liked it. Never fucking talk about yield curves and all that nonsense. So, but today's Sunday. So if anybody wants to go ahead and continue that conversation, great. But these technical conversations are my sweet and butter, and I like what you bring to the table, man. It's awesome. Let me ask you a quick question. What do you think of the volume footprint on the candle? Have you heard of that?
The volume candles themselves?
Yeah, the volume footprints on the trading view. Pretty much you see volume per candle.
Mm-hmm.
Have you messed around with it? There's not enough information on the internet on this thing, so I'm slowly learning it little by little. This one's a little, how do you say, like a diamond in a haystack type of indicator, to be honest with you. it pretty much gives you, whatever, let's say hedge funds, right? Hedge funds can't manipulate these candles. And every time I see a certain type of delta coming into the candles, oh shit, we had just like, I don't know, maybe a $50,000 order. $50,000 volume candle coming at this one specific time frame. And I say, oh, well, that might be institutions, whatever have you. Anyway, I'm still learning this thing, but if you messed around with it, have you taken a look at it or no?
I have. Like, I always find that stuff kind of fun to play around with.
Right.
Launch new things. But on the shorter time frames, you'll see the volume more obviously, because the shorter time frames will pick up changes in price and volume quicker. So I think they're more effective on some of the shorter time frames. But, when you see these volume candles on the dailies that are huge, whether they be green or red, they're significant. But do I use them every day? No.
No.
For me, I'm just a big believer in following what the chart tells us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we use, look at MSTR.
I got a target at 122.
So MSTR, and there's a chart of this in my Twitter feed, so everybody can look at it. But, way back when we picked up a sell signal on the weekly in August, we identified where this thing was going to go. Now, on the daily, it was looking for the 1,000-day MA, and that's why I'm bringing this up, because I know KP was talking about it. So the 1,000-day moving average is where price is going to go. I said that back when it failed in August, because you're going to break one level, you're going to find the next, and you break that level, you're going to find the next, and the only thing that changes that is a heck of a lot of more money to change the trend. And then, when you look at the weekly chart, at no time from August, the week of August 11th, did the MSTR chart give you a reason to long it, because the trend was still down, right? So the system that I use will tell me not only how I can read price, but great, now that I can read price, shit, is the trend still in my favor? I don't know. But this will help me do that, help me understand that. And even with that big red candle and big green candle that challenged the 50 and the 20, the divergence never changed in the T line and the 5 EMA. It still was down. There was never a cross to trigger trend. So those candles were just flush candles, and actually just an opportunity to add to your short. Because you're not going to long into resistance, you're going to short there. And when you know that the trend is still down and in your favor, it's hard to screw up. And on the weekly chart, it's just looking for the 200. And that base of past price, like we saw in Bitcoin, that's what it's looking for. And it's found it.
It's looking at it too. It's like it's inviting them.
Yeah.
For sure. Are you familiar with the Belowski site?
No.
Okay, got you. It's just a pattern site. I religiously studied for many months. But okay. It's funny how we're a bunch of us technical traders, we all cross our P's and Q's, and at the end of the day, we end up with the same thesis. And it's beautiful to see different ways of how people maneuver in the markets, man. Honestly, it's phenomenal.
And really, if you really start to think about it, the more simple that you're looking at this stuff in a simple context, the better off you're going to be. Like Butters keeps it simple, and he knocks them out all the time. Like, I try and keep it simple. There might be a lot going on in the chart, but it's very easy to read. It's just various different time frames. Like, if I'm looking for an entry on a daily, I'm probably checking the 4-hour. If I get my buy signal on the 4-hour, that's a sneaky entry onto the daily. You get your buy signal on the daily. Maybe you end up with a runner. And if you do, you bought yourself some elbow room, as price fluctuates a little bit, by getting a good entry. I think getting good entries for me are really important. Without front running the chart. So.
Let me ask you a question. What sector do you believe is going to thrive next year?
So, as a technician, I'll scan for charts, right? I obviously have a macro sense of an opinion on what's going on in the world, but I think there's a lot of stocks that haven't had a lot of attention in a lot of years, like, I mean, decades, right? And all of a sudden they're having a heartbeat. So I think you're going to find opportunity in places that you don't normally, or wouldn't normally have looked for it. Like, everyone's focused on tech and this, that, and the other thing, healthcare. And sure, there's opportunities there, but I mean, look outside that box, and I think you'll start to see more opportunity. But I'll scan for my opportunities. I'll go through a sector and I'll scan for what I'm looking for the setups I'm looking for.
I was in a space, and I'm going to reiterate what I said a couple minutes ago. It was like 30 minutes ago. But long story short, I was in a space, whoever was speaking had no followers, just a random Twitter account. But everybody was just like listening in. He had no diffusers, no arms, no nothing. It just basically, this guy has a silver tongue, but he was talking about the energy sector / drilling. The drilling sector nobody's talking about, and we just found one or two tickers. Butters brought one up, and the other gentleman brought one up, RIG, and I forgot which one Butters recommended. But the point is, the fact is that drilling, no one's looking at drilling. Part of the energy, you still need drilling, the oil, whatever have you. I don't know too much about it, but in terms of what I believe, you hit it on the nail. No one's going to be looking at, get outside your box, and you might just find a couple gems. I'm just bringing up drilling because, I don't know, maybe it might be a thing next year. Who the fuck knows? But what I do know is very interesting area. Very, very interesting.
Sammy, I'm going to ask this one guy a question. Mm-hmm. And this will tell you how good his charts are.
Mm-hmm.
Blunt, how long have you been short oil?
September 23.
Let me get that. September 23.
September 23, exactly the first trading day after that space that we read. So everybody day that was.
Everybody said you're crazy. And I remember the chart that Blunt shared with me, and man, that's all I gotta say. If you're not following Blunt or you're listening to what he says, man, the guy's bang on.
I see why. Are you watching that 50? I'm looking at 50. I see that rejection on the 20 as well. Just structural change, upward channel. Once you cross, this reminds me of Bitcoin back in. Hold up. Yep. So look at Bitcoin on the daily back in February 21st of 2025. Yeah, that 50. Smart. Good shit, bro. Nice fucking trade, man.
In the oil chart, just the weekly in particular, and then the day that Butters is actually referring to, it's oil traded as high as $95, and it had been really bounced from a pullback after a nice big run. And of course, everybody believes that oil is going to parabolic levels as soon as they see a green candle. But for me, when I looked at the chart, all I saw was that weekly doji that was floating there above all support. And
it had a gap?
At the time, well, if you look at the weekly, you'll see the doji.
Let me double check.
And you're trading above everything. And when I see that, I'm like, well, I got to condense this chart, because instantly I'm looking for the left. Now, the reason I use 1,000-day moving average, especially with things that have a lot of price history, is because it gives you a very, very, very long look at where price has been in the past and where it finds support and resistance. And if you throw 1,000-day moving average on an oil chart, I use US Oil, the TVC feed, because it has a lot of history. You'll see how the daily treats 1,000-day moving average. You'll see how the weekly treats 1,000-day moving average. And all I know is that when you come back, oil had been using it as support, right? The 1,000-day, the 200-day on the weekly chart, even with 500-day moving average. And you got to remember, 500 days and 1,000 days on a weekly, it's like, 20 years or more. And we know that oil trades in cycles. And all I knew is that, okay, if you started to come back and tag these levels where has price been before that it would likely go again? And just like you pointed out, those two skis on the Bitcoin chart that was around 55, well, I did the same thing, and I find two skis at 61.66. And if you condense that chart even farther back, it cuts through a ton of kind of quasi-structural price history on that weekly chart. And my comment was to the people that thought it was going to be $120 is that you'll probably see 70 before you see 100, with my target being 61.66. And like Butter said, I was a lunatic. But as all I know is that, you know, when you fail one level and find the next, and you make lower highs, like if you look in my feed, you'll see a lot of these oil charts. Like back in April of 24, lower high. So I'm just going to draw a trend line, just because I want to have it there as reference. I'm not going to live and die by it. But look how accurate it's been. So I believe now, because we've broken these levels, even on the weekly chart, that we're going to the $47 range or lower. Pull up a quarterly chart. Look at the 200 MA. It's sitting $44. So we're going to be somewhere, and it's been there before. Back in 2020, 2016, 1998. These are not levels that would be historic touches at all. These are places, the 200-day, that price will go. We live in a fractal world. What happens on one time frame will happen on another. And I still believe that's where we're going. And it makes the oil and the oil services trades really interesting, right? Because oil's gone nowhere but down. But yet some of the stocks, there's some really nice opportunity in there. And I think that's where good traders will succeed. And eventually the oil chart will reverse. And when it does, I'll be one of the people trading it to the upside.
On a higher time frame, you were asking about some sectors. I've been paying attention to space because you had breakouts this last year on a lot of charts, like UFOs, one of the ETFs. It broke out and retested the breakout already after hitting the 1, 2, 3, 6. I just think you're going to get more expansion in these. ASTS has a lot of partnerships with mobile providers. They're putting up satellites left and right. So I think this space investment, I was thinking it was going to be, another 10, 15 years. But once I start seeing some breakout retests, I'm like, I should just get in on this. Because, I mean, ASTS with their partnerships and then speculation, that could be an easy $1 trillion player in the future, right? I think trillions is the next market caps on these next bull runs anyway, no longer billions.
Yeah. The weekly chart for UFO is interesting.
Yeah, weekly looks like more pullback could be coming. I like the way the monthly is looking. And I'm paying attention to some of these yearly closes on a lot of different charts too, including Bitcoin specifically.
We're looking at UFO, the Procure Space ETF, right? Blunt on that one. Just looking on retracements. It's come back to the 2.618 roughly. Well, by about 7 cents lower. Okay. So if we fill that gap on the weekly chart, right, from the daily, sorry, not weekly. It's going to be your weekly chart. But there is a gap on the 19th on the daily.
Wait, what was your ratio? I'm sorry, before you go ahead. What was the ratio you're looking at?
So the daily chart, there's a gap up, right? So it's from 38.64, okay, all the way up to 39.17, which we come down below that. So that gap has been filled. Now Blunt's looking at the weekly because why? You also see that if you even use like RSI and you kind of do a trend line there, okay, or even obviously with moving average convergence, divergence, it could be a double top. I don't know if that's what Blunt's seeing as well. With that type of hammer on that weekly candle from last week on UFO.
But I think this gives this thing.
You can go back to like the 76 after a 1, 2, 3, 6 breakout, and then that's your new accumulation zone. I'll probably be watching these all next year. Lunar, LUNR, look like it's having a breakout from a big symmetrical triangle on the weekly. So I'm just watching these for pullbacks next year to kind of might start loading on space stocks, like in a major way.
That chart looks like it'll give you opportunity when it does. Like it has nice pullbacks to make them certainly worthwhile waiting for.
I think the winner in that area is going to be ASTS. That's going to be that's going to be like their NVIDIA of the space stocks probably. It already had that huge move from 2024, just straight up though.
I disagree there. AST is about to have a lot of competition. Their capex spend is going to continue to increase. That's why they had to go
I like
to.
it, but I
They
think
had to go
they're ahead with all their partners. I mean, they're already looking at what, over 2 billion worth of mobile providers they're kind of partner with.
They don't have the capacity. That's why they're Bluebird.
Well, yeah, that's what growth is for. That's what I'm saying, speculation and growth. That's what I was saying in growth-wise, when people start getting horny over space, you know what I'm saying? You're going to overshoot valuations by 1.5 miles.
So at the end of the day, they had to go to ISRO, which is the Indian Space Research Organization, to launch the latest satellite.
So some of these stocks, you don't want revenue right away. What you want is just speculation on revenue, right? This is like pre-revenue is better than revenue for a lot of companies. You don't want speculation. Military contracts and shit.
Well, you have Verizon and AT&T as two of your partners, right? T-Mobile signed with Starlink, okay? Or if you want to call it with SpaceX / but and then Amazon's launching their LEO satellite, right? With their Blue Origin initiative. Remember, they also have, when they split apart, allowed the merger, right? But split apart some of the others. That was a 3-2 vote at the FCC, right, when T-Mobile acquired Sprint from SoftBank. I remember there was a fourth provider, Dish Network. Amazon was supposed to sign an agreement with them. I don't know how far that went, but Amazon they have to also have spectrum, right? Even for sat communication. There's other parts of that network to integrate. So ASTS is just one part of the integration between Verizon or AT&T. Right, so if Amazon comes in with Dish or whatever they're going to do with their service, that's going to be addition, right, for ASTS going into next year for Verizon or AT&T customers. T-Mobile already has that, don't they? But not for full data, because they do not have the capacity. So if I'm looking forward,
Was Elon serious about taking SpaceX public, or was that all bullshit?
Oh, that's gonna happen.
Hmm?
Well, Sammy done summoned me and interrupted my long conference talk on Velo 3D selective sintering laser shit.
Ooh, is that a new T that we must know about?
Oh, you know about Velo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That fucking thing ripped. Fucking monster.
Yeah, I'm out of that play as well, but I've been kind of deep diving some interviews and kind of trying to figure out their moat and see if it might be something I want to round trip.
Yeah, I see the retracement. I got a harmonic up there, so I'm just going to be sitting on my hands on this. But what's the T on this now? What do you got going on?
No, I listened to an interview with the CEO, and I'm listening to an interview or a presentation given by employee number 6. But you interrupted it because apparently you needed me for something. So what's up?
ASTS, potential competition, TLDR. You don't have to go on the whole spiel. What do you think?
I think ASTS is interesting. I've never made a play there. What I think is more interesting is that phased array technology that they have can work both ways. So, who's monetizing their current launches when they don't have saturation level to actually provide data? The government. Because you can use those same phased arrays that can beam a signal down to a cell phone to also track telemetry data from cell phones. So this is a hidden surveillance play.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the TLDR because I know you can get real depth, like much more informative down there. But okay, I appreciate that. That was it. Thank you so much. I know you got shit to do, brother. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Okay, Sammy, what do we think about the geopol risk going into next year? You got all these SAT companies, aerospace and defense companies. What do we think about it?
Listen, if there's one man to ask that question, it'd be the gentleman in here. I wouldn't know anything until Crispy even confirms it. Honestly, every single thing that Crispy has said, I've been eyeing him. I've been hearing him for the past 4 months, and I've only been doing spaces for around that time frame. Long story short, this man has been spilling a lot of alpha, and I've been watching every single chart. Literally, all fucking 8 of his tickers in the space industry, drone industry, are just up only. So my guess is the only one I'm watching and willing to throw a bag in is ONDS, and I'm waiting for the pullback. I'm watching the 750 levels, but ONDS is reminding me of APLD. Positive news every fucking day, every week. It's just constant news. APLD. When I catch that knife at 388, what happened then? News. Then where's APLD right now? Trading at $25, peaked at 40. ANDS is giving me the same vibe, same structure, same theory. So the only ones, everything else is great. There's a light path, obviously. You need poly. Obviously, Crispy, you can school me on this. What's the what? Poly something?
Germanium.
There you go.
Germanium being one of the things China's been saying they're going to restrict.
What ticker? LightPath uses that, right? Uses that technology?
No, they have an alternative to that technology. So traditionally, infrared sensors use a germanium substrate. LightPath makes it out of a different chalcagenide glass, a different kind of like composition that's not dependent upon germanium supply chains, and it has other like physical properties that are beneficial.
Yep, as well as overall power consumption as well.
Yeah, and size and coefficient of expansion, like thermal expansion. So like when you have an optical sensor, like if you're dealing with focus, Sammy, do you have a camera? You know how you have to like set your focus?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have your actual like sensor expanding and contracting dependent upon temperature, like in a desert environment or a space environment, you have to have a more complicated focal stack. But they're able to tune that expansion through like the properties of the glass so that you don't have to have as much weight in your optics.
Okay, what company I need to look at for this? Which one?
That's my pass.
Are you fucking serious? Same one?
Yeah, that's the benefits of their black diamond glass, the chalcagenide, is you can accomplish more with fewer sensors and smaller sensors. So that's why they have applications in a lot of military domains, because when you look at a normal like IR gimbal, like for any other kind of like defense system, you'll see 3 or 4 sensors. Because you need to have one sensor that's tuned for a specific range, another sensor tuned for a closer range, and then you have like a third sensor that's tuned to like be able to see through cloud cover or smoke, or like, you know, like there's different applications. And with germanium based IR sensors, you're kind of like tied to the properties of that material. Whereas with LightPath and chalcagenide, they can actually tune the material properties itself to do multiple applications in one sensor stack.
Can this be commercialized, or they're just specifically waiting up for DoD?
No, this is commercialized.
Okay, so Apple can go ahead and be like, hey, we want LightPath XYZ.
No, LightPath, this technology was built from the Naval Research Center, and LightPath has an exclusive license to it.
They love those lasers there, here, Crispy.
Yeah, everybody's all about the lasers. I see them as artillery targets until I get further validation.
But,
lasers are heavy and expensive.
Yeah, but they got a new one coming, right? So Israel.
Iron Beam.
So they have the Iron Beam system, but there's different variants of that as well, right? So they'd already been testing it on Israel's naval ships. So we had leased out 2 of the Iron Dome systems, U.S. Army. Okay.
From Raphael? Or who was the
systems? Yeah. No, you got Raphael. There's a few others, like Elbit.
Raphael, Elbit.
Yeah. Elbit's one of our largest vendors when it comes to the Department of Homeland Security, right?
Yeah, everybody talks about Anduril on the border, but then few people know Elbit's involvement with the border project.
Huge, and they already have it, right? Elbit Systems USA, right? It's publicly traded on the NYSE as well. Even drones, right? So Elbit has a few different agreements with other international companies as well. So they're huge, right? The Israelis have been using drones.
Yeah, where do they source their infrared sensors, though? Have you looked into that, Kerrang?
So Elbit and some of these older companies from Israel, we didn't even have those in the U.S. They actually did it themselves back in the 1970s.
Look at the LightPath investor presentation from the last quarterly report. You'll see Elbit in there. You'll see Anduril in there. You'll see all the people that they...
Wait, did you just say Anduril?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. No, that's it. LightPath is on full deck. Oh,
No,
yeah.
but the important ones is not the Anduril, not the Elbit. It's Lockheed Martin and Leonardo DRS. I think those are the more significant partnerships that they have locked down.
Oh, my fucking...
On my pad, yeah, because their new drone that Lockheed has, it's already integrated right with the Lightning as well as the Raptor. Yeah.
It's more the NGSRI missile system, the Quad Star missile that Lockheed's competing with Raytheon on. As soon as we get news on NGSRI, that has the potential to double LightPath's revenues.
Well, okay, so then Grumman's also involved, right, with the Shield?
With this particular NGSRI contract, it's between Raytheon and Lockheed Martin.
No, the overall system.
Oh yeah, well, the overall systems, you have 2,000 some odd entries into the IDIQ so far.
Mm-hmm. So it's just the integration of the systems as well, right? So we're talking about different companies for different parts, right? Just to keep it all together.
Yeah, it's more like a whitelist for vendors. So when you're going through like the next stages of the Golden Dome contract, you have like a trusted level, so you don't have as much friction in getting to the next stage.
They're also building a shield around DC as well, right? It's a little bit different of an application there, but yes.
Crispy, it's always a pleasure to have you up on stage. So let's just finalize LightPath real quick. We're just waiting for confirmation. That's pretty much it. Just news, any catalyst, because I see the range here on this damn thing. It's just like, you know.
They just had their dilution event. So the news catalyst that I'm watching for now is like their acquisition targets and the NGSRI missile program and any other contract momentum.
Fuck. Okay. All right. Well, LightPath is on my radar now. I'm just waiting for the pullback on this thing.
Yeah, I put it on your radar weeks ago.
I know, but like with these things, it's always like the fucking news-driven event scenarios, and it's like, all right, well, it's
LightPath is sleepier. You have lower volume, lower liquidity. Ondas has much higher volume, much higher liquidity, so you're gonna see much more volatile and like kind of like violent price action there. But the thing is with Ondas, if you're waiting for an entry on that one, we could be getting the DHS CUAS ruling, very similar to the SHIELD program. That contract could happen any fucking day. So I don't know if the problem is like with the holidays, you've got a lot of people that are out, or I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. But that's a very short-term catalyst that could either occur next week or early January, God knows, but it's like an any day now event.
And that will... Okay, so if you had to take a chance on LPTH versus Ondas, who do you think is going to be like the more probable to have like a 5-act scenario?
Well, no, my bags are heavier in LPTH than Ondas because I've already ran up significantly on Ondas.
I fucking knew it.
So did you see that they're trying to get to positive EPS too on LightPath, and they're pretty much there? And their margins. Look at their margins.
Yeah, that's why I think the NGSRI program is going to be like significant for them. Yeah, their gross margin has been expanding because they're moving less from component supplies to assembled systems. So through their acquisition of G5, they now have the sensor stack and the cooled core IR camera stack. The next play I think they're going to go after is the gimbals, and I think Hoodtech Vision is my like prime candidate there. Hoodtech Vision is a private company. They are founder owned, and the founder is getting old, so he's probably looking for an exit. If you look at their management structure, you don't have any of his kids on any board or any kind of like an heir to the throne there. So I think he might be looking to sell out, and that would put LightPath at the next tier of the stack in fully assembled gimbals. That company, Hoodtech Vision, they have deals with Boeing as well for Boeing's drone systems. So that adds Boeing to their like roster. It would be very fucking creative.
So looking at LightPath, right? You have 15.36 million in debt. Free cash flow still negative 1.22 million. Cash and cash equivalents are 11.51 million. Right. So looking at solvency, liquidity ratios, net margin as well as a negative 19.21%. Net income is negative 2.89. Obviously, with the fact of negative free cash flow as well, saying that.
About 4 quarters ago, they did some like facilities expansion, and they've expanded their capex. But right now, they're positioned to grow without having.
That's what I'm saying. There's lots of positives.
Yeah.
They're about to try to get positive EPS. I'm just agreeing.
They're coiled the fuck up, and they don't have major capex outliers or major capex expenditures in their like near-term roadmap because they have the square footage to scale their operations where they are, but they do need to bring online more furnaces, more optical furnaces, more like workstations, that kind of stuff. That involves tuning and some other things, but they don't actually have to build another building. Is the significant thing.
So this one we kind of, there's a few people in here. I think GK's been mentioning this one too for well over a year and a half. So yeah, man, it's literally gone straight vertical. The weekly's looking good on it, right? So looking out at the chart, market saying basically volume was good for even a week, like this past week, right? That we had with a shorter week. Right, Christmas week. So that's such a good sign.
Yeah.
And if you look at December 12th specifically, that's when they did their offering.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. It's extended at this point, right? So you kind of let this run, right, for a pullback on a weekly. If I was going to look, you would want to wait until we get back into the 8 range, man. Just throwing that out.
Yeah, that's usually my target to purchase is when it dips below 8.
I mean, in some miracle aspect, I see that 20 on that weekly. Will we ever get back to 7? I have no idea. But with my bearish outlook on SPY, it just might. But again, not a Houdini. I'm just looking at the trend. So hopefully we get back to that 20 on the weekly. That'd be a great opportunity for me. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've been buying into this name for quite a while. I'm only up about 40% on it just because I'm kind of like I bought way up, way down.
Right.
So my cost basis is about $6.30. If we dip down below 8, I'd probably buy more, but I am.
But like you said, this is just literally just news. Like you can just feel price action just consolidating because they know what's happening or something's going to happen, right? And you already have the heads up, so it's not the official heads up, but you know the in terms of like the broader outlook a year out.
Yeah. This is 25% of my portfolio right now. That's how heavy I'm in this play.
Right, dude. Lock.
Right, this thing's running.
Yeah.
Other optics name, okay, and this one's come down into possibly a buyer. Look at IPGP, the photonics.
IPGP.
They're verticals are in different ways as well. So even beam delivery, medical, telecom. Okay.
Fiber lasers as well. They're kind of like up against Coherent. I think is like the big bad in the room there, the 800-pound gorilla. So like, I'm wait, they own Laguna?
Mm-hmm. I would watch this one, Crispy. We want to do some research on this. The Coherent, I'm not going to say. The chart speaks for itself, right? But
yeah, exactly. We're looking for the next Coherent. We don't want to catch bags at the top, you know. Like Coherent, Lumentum, they've had their run. But IPG, like this is interesting because I'm looking at do they have relationships with Lincoln Electric?
I've got all the relationships.
Because Lincoln's a welding name that I know I'm quite familiar with. Because the thing is, like, the Chinese fiber lasers are, like, huge right now. And they're so much more, I don't want to say cheap, because that's kind of like, they're a lot more attainable. And the Chinese fiber lasers are starting to flood the market. American fiber lasers have dealt with a moat as far as like being in the vendor good old boy like chain where you're going to spend $30,000 for a system that's now being pumped out of China for $3,000.
So Coherent's one of their obviously high power laser competitors, even Fanuc Corporation, Trump, GB or GMB.
Trump is the shit. TRUMPF, I believe. I don't think they're publicly traded. But if you're doing like large fiber laser like cutting operations, like tube based, they have awesome machines.
So Trust Valentin over 7. So they have a trust control. That's another thing. Okay. They have Impacts Asset Management, Fundsmith LLP, Voice and Associates, Renaissance Technologies. So they are keeping it close with who they have as their partners. I don't know why they are, right? So, which partnerships? Let's see this one. Okay, as
You charting this, Sammy? IPGP?
I was just about to ask. IPTG.
IPGP, Indigo, Puma, Gallup, Puma.
Oh, there you go. Found it.
you take a look, okay? Lockheed, IPG's crossbow laser weapon system, right? So there's Sanctum CUAS architecture, right? So you obviously have a few others when it comes to counter UAS systems. So they're shifting to full defense solutions as well right now. So the capex is there, right? And they have to spend that money. Obviously, their cash equivalents, their debt's basically negligible. They can spend over $200 million if they wanted to. That's why I like this company. It's healthy. So it's integration. If it grows as partnerships, right? That's the big question mark. So they're trying to focus even in different markets, right? In EMEA, not just in U.S. markets as well. So yeah, they're growing there internationally as well. So I'd watch this.
87.30 on this thing. Breaks, struggling up there, but interesting. It's got a nice little scalp formation on the monthly, also on the weekly as well. Interesting to say the least. So photonics is the future, is that we know. So we have LightPath, IPGP. And what are the competitors like for LightPath? Just out of curiosity. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
That's
you.
TDY, Teledyne Technologies.
TD.
Through their ownership of FLIR. The Teledyne is the 800-pound gorilla in the infrared sensor stack.
Nope. And they acquired FLIR just a few years ago.
Yeah, FLIR is pretty much the technology. Like if you've ever had like those heat cameras you can attach to your phone?
Yeah.
It's FLIR is the company that was kind of behind that. They got acquired by Teledyne, but they also have like their entire like military and defense, so the IR for missile systems.
Is this essentially the technology that's inside of the Anduril drones, or just drones that can see somewhat of the heat?
Just infrared. Teledyne, they do germanium optics, like all like Boeing. Like Anduril is nothing compared to like Boeing or Lockheed Martin or like this is the shit that's on the F-35.
Wait a minute. Time the fuck out. You're telling me that LightPath is essentially in the same space as TDY, Teradyne, and if they do get it right and they execute properly, we're looking at levels up here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Teledyne is a $24 billion market cap. LightPath is under $500 million.
Oh my fucking god!
But Teledyne is more than IR sensors. They do so much more. They're much more diversified. So I think
they're X-ray. It's X-ray and infrared, and it's not just for deep space, deep sea. Obviously, they have their Black Hornet drones, right? That are also operated by over 17 special forces, right? It's a smaller contract. The U.S. Army ordered 300 more. Anyways, they got a lot of stuff. This is you're saying.
Yeah, Teledyne is not just like their direct competitor on like optics. Optics is just one line of business of Teledyne. So I'm not saying that $24 billion is built purely on the optics platform.
Right. No, I got you. I understand you. It's just, same space, same technology. One gets it right, looks good. I mean, it's just a rare area in general. Like, there's not a lot of companies working in this general space, period. I mean, you just named 3, and that's 3 that we know so far, right?
There's some Korean companies that also have Kalkajanide plays. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it's Sumitomo or Sumitomo or.
Well, the United States is not going to hire, these.
No, the Korean company is already in our contract awards for like safety glasses. So that company's already got their foot in the door for American contracting.
Well, that's interesting. Shit. Okay. Well, LightPath is on my radar, brother. I mean, fuck. I got to keep a closer eye now because we're just waiting on news. That's it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find SOMO. SOMO. That's the Korean alternative for Kalkajanide.
SOMO.
It's not a ticker. It's probably on the Korean exchanges, but that's just like a global competitor.
Okay. Concerned. I see you have something to say. What's up, brother?
I was gonna say, what raw materials do they make that stuff with?
Caucasianide is like an arsenic based. Let me get you the actual. Let's see.
I already know you're gonna start looking at companies in that space, right? Concerned. Producers, the miners, whatever have you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at the last couple of days.
Yeah, chalcogenide, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. I thought the arsenic was in this one. I think AI is slopping me right now. Chalcogenide, glass, composition.
I got excited when you said Sumitomo because I was looking at them for antimony, I think.
Yeah, Somo is the chalcogenide alternative in Korea. Sumitomo they're in the antimony like play, and they're also in indium phosphate. Indium phosphide, I mean, like
Indium. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
For clarity or whatever, optical clarity.
Yeah, so that has applications in lasers and photonics.
Anybody else on the bottom? I think I'm gonna run this space for another maybe 10 more minutes. Anybody on the listeners downstairs? Excuse me, thought I had my mic open. Listeners downstairs, if you guys want to come up, I think I'm gonna run the space for the next 5-10 more minutes. Been running the space for 3 hours now, I think, essentially. So, yeah. So if you want to catch up and have something to say or tickers you want us to chart, please come up. Any ticker, anything, whatever you guys want. I'm free, and so the traders up here as well. Take advantage.
Look at FEIM. They just opened their option chain last week.
FEIM.
Frequency electronic.
Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking vertical here. Whole month since October. Oh no, this thing's been up only. Well, arguably. After July 1st.
I bought in at December 2nd when they were in the Shield IDIQs. Because I've been in and out of this name for a while, but I was waiting for like the narrative to kind of catch on.
Right.
But as soon as I saw them in the Shield IDIQs, that's when I kind of loaded up.
Yeah, dude.
So I clocked it double on that one in under a month.
And it's just been up since, dude. Fuck. I for some reason I drew this as a cup, and it looks like a mini handle. And it just ripped.
We might see some downward pressure on this one since they've now opened up an option chain for it. So we could probably see like a lot of like the Jane Streets and the funny money moving in to try and play both sides.
Velo. I keep looking at Velo, dude, and it's like, what's the story behind this?
Velo was like an acquisition turnaround story. So they were getting delisted. They were like in the fucking gutter. And this guy, Arun, came in and bought up the company and like turned it around, like got their shit together, started focusing on defense, on space, and they've been moving ever since. So that one was like probably a turnaround story similar to Lightpath. Lightpath was like outsourcing everything to China. They were getting ripped off by their Chinese like partners, and then they just like kiboshed that and moved everything back to the United States. This is kind of like pre-Trump, and they were in this de-risking China supply chain like narrative earlier than it became the news. So that's like that's the UMAX story. That's the Lightpath story. That's the Velo is similar. Like that company was just mismanaged and poorly run, and it just got taken over by this guy who's a fucking operator, and he's just turned it around.
I thought they had some sort of connections with, I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah, SpaceX.
Right.
SpaceX
there you go.
They're built. SpaceX was like an early investor. Like they provide machines for SpaceX to build their rocket engines, and that's like when we're looking at additive manufacturing or selective laser sintering, like that is the use case. Aerospace stuff that you can't design through traditional molding and castings, where you have to actually like the process goes into the design. Here, the design goes into the design because you have fewer constraints as far as like draft angles, like everything else you need to do in molding. So they can delete parts at scale and make these engines much more, I don't want to say simpler, but you can add the complexity into the part rather than the auxiliary systems.
My God. All right, so they're like at the end of the day, long term, they keep their contracts with these guys, and they continue to execute.
Is the American narrative, like because
Right.
they're major competitors. Like Rocket Lab uses Nikon,
Right.
and EOS is another player in the system. That's a German company, not the EOS laser company. There's a different EOS that's a German 3D printing company. They're separate companies. It's kind of confusing. But so there's quite a few players in selective laser sintering or just metal-based 3D printing. But Velo is like an American company, and they're getting American contracts, and we're seeing a lot more momentum into American names when it comes to like military contracting and everything. We want to prop up this industry, not Europe's.
And essentially, first off, humans have been they've been curious creatures, and since we can learn how to fly, we've just always been aiming at the stars. I feel like this is like the golden age for space. How do you say? This reminds me of the AI movement, like everything. I think that we're still early in the space.
It's all about Jared Isaacman, my friend. Now that he's the administrator at NASA, we're entering a new age.
Yeah, and I'm feeling that now, and I think we still have a lot more room to grow. And in the space industry, most of the tech that we have here, like microwave systems, I think that was part of a NASA project back in the 60s. I might be mistaken, might be butchering, but like even the microwave was something that they created in NASA and they fucking commercialized it, right?
Yeah, microwave was a communications array. And then somebody walked in front of like a microwave transmitter and it melted the chocolate bar in their pocket.
Dude.
At least that's the urban legend.
So
So
can we see some sort of, how do you say, more of a linear segue? The technology that we are seeing, that they're just privatized and they can potentially commercialize it, right? Like LightPath, like I know.
Well, the thing is, like in space systems, I think in general, you're seeing a mirror image of data systems and like data centers. Like as far as the transition between like in data centers, you have transition between copper and Ethernet to fiber and optics and photonics and all that. You're seeing the same thing in space between radio technology that's like slow, jammable, and like flawed to optical terminals. And optical terminals is essentially a laser in the vacuum of space. It's like a fiber optic cable essentially, but you don't need it in space. You can just send a laser beam. And that's the new communications layer. That's where Rocket Lab's acquisition of Binaric, you have IONQ's acquisition of, I can't remember, like CloudSat or something like that. And Voyager also has an optical terminal play, and CACI is the gorilla in the room for optical terminals. So like that's going to be like this next wave of space communications is in optics.
I am listening. Go ahead.
If the data centers in space like narrative kind of like comes through, you can't do that without optical terminals.
Optical terminals, guys. This is all recorded on my YouTube, guys. So it's the YouTube is on the Nest. Whatever he is mentioning, it's all in the YouTube channel. It's on the YouTube video, so you can play it back. Because trust me, there's a lot of alpha, a lot of information. Even me typing what he's saying, half the time I'm not getting to all my tickers, but it's totally fine. Just review the YouTube, dude. Crispy.
Yeah, another company to look at that is TESAT. I believe it's Europe or private, but that's another competitor in that space.
TESAT.
It's not a ticker to like look up. It's just a company. I think it's German, but Rocket Lab acquired Binaric, and that's kind of like my exposure to this industry because I'm looking for another play there that like kind of like bridges that gap between like the data center photonics play and the future optical terminal play.
Oh my God. Let me ask you one last question. One last question. When are we going to get to the point of, and this is just like, more of a little tinfoil, when are we going to get to 0 point energy? Are we working on that at any point?
We're going to have to get to fusion first.
Okay. So fusion, okay. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
DJT?
DJT? No way.
No,
Donald
no,
Trump?
seriously, Donald Trump bought a fucking fusion company. Like DJT merged with a fucking fusion company. Did you not see this?
I saw it, but okay, look, I know a little bit about Element 115, Upentium. All right, we discovered it in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Stephen Greer talks about it. Long story short, this element is essentially the future, maybe 40 years out. We're going to be dead by the time we figure it out, right? It's just too erratic and it disappears in seconds. Point is, I'm always watching out for a company, especially in the energy sector. Who is the next player to work on Element 115?
There's a lot of fucking snake oil out there, my friend.
I know, I get it, but still. The history behind it is just interesting. I don't want to talk about it because I'm running a YouTube channel that's all trading. Then it becomes fucking algorithmic about fucking tinfoil. So I don't want to trigger that algo right now. But
You're gonna get a bunch of flat earthers.
dude,
swarming you.
that's what I don't want. I already get I get demonetized because of music. I don't want to get demonetized because of fucking tinfoil shit. But anyway, listen. Pleasure. Everyone up here, please follow the guys up here, especially Crispy, GK, Trey Alpha. Follow them all. But there's always alphas in these rooms, man. Some of these players up here, dude, sometimes you just catch them on a regular day and you just end up finding them, listening to them, and then boom, you get fucking situations like Crispy's got. So it's always a pleasure to have you, Crispy. Hopefully you continue growing. And always, please, guys, when you're trading, put your fucking stop losses up. Thank you so much. Anyway.
Nah, fuck that. That's a condom.
Have your fucking stop losses, man. Thank you, Crispy, and everybody else for joining.
Non-financial advice,
No.
everybody.
There you go.
Just like keep your stop losses, protect your gains, do all the things. But the thing is, like, don't borrow conviction. Find it for yourself.
There you go. There you have it. I think we'll end it with that. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.